Happy Foxing Day, everybody. It's the day after Christmas, and it is time to get back into Premier League football. Leicester City head to Manchester to take on Manchester City in what should be a very exciting match. It's Leicester versus Manchester. It's a watch-along. Won't you join us?
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie and Co-Estate Agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, hello, good morning from Canada. Welcome to you all to Leicester Fan TV. For today's watch-along, it is Leicester City versus Manchester City. Get your views in and your comments in. Let's discuss the match, but also happy Boxing Day, happy Foxing Day. I hope you all had a lovely holiday season. Let us know in the comments if you got anything great for the holidays, anything Leicester City related, anything Manchester City related. Who knows? We've got the lineups ready as well, so we'll get a couple of your thoughts in, and then we can also get the lineups up on screen. We've got about a half an hour before the match actually kicks off. So let's get a couple thoughts in. Yeah, fairly enough, there are a lot of concerns around this match as to how the performance will go. Manchester City, a team that are on very good form. Leicester City, very hit or miss at the moment. And yeah, a lot of people that are rightfully concerned coming in today's match. Hi, Fee. Matty Bond commenting on our defense. Andy Moss already in Manchester. Scott, fairly enough, not thrilled with the lineup. I can't put your comment up on screen though because we're not past the watershed. However, let's get the lineups up on screen and we can start discussing those right off the bat. So according to the sources that I have, it will be a 4-3-3 for both teams. Starting off with the Leicester City formation, we start obviously with Kasper Schmeichel in goal. A back four consisting of Luke Thomas, Yannick Vestergaard, Big Dan Amarte, and Mark Albrighton taking the role of right back today. Midfield three consisting of James Maddison, Yuri Tielemans, and Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, who gets another start coming off quite a bright match against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. And finally, a front three consisting of Lookman and Perez on the rings, feeding the ball into Kelechi Iheanacho. For Manchester City, the same formation, a 4-3-3 formation, starting with Ederson in goal, a back four consisting of Zinchenko, Aymeric Laporte, Ruben Diaz, and Joao Cancelo, a midfield three of Ilkay Gundogan, Fernandinho up the middle, and Silva on the right, and a front three consisting of the danger man Kevin De Bruyne with Sterling and former Fox Riyad Mahrez on the wings. So a very strong Manchester City lineup and a Leicester City lineup that is a little bit hit or miss. We're obviously missing a few key players as well, but let's get a few of these comments in. John, 3 pairs of lucky LCFC match socks, wearing all 3 pairs and hoping it's enough. Yeah, I've been avoiding wearing the FBS shirt for the last few games because we have not performed well when I've worn those. It's stuck to the backdrop today. Just got one of the classic King Powers from last season. Also, if any of you are international supporters, I believe your membership packets should have started to arrive, which should also include some nice lucky LCFC socks as well. Carmen, good to see you. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. That's John's comment again. We should forfeit the match. That way we avoid injuries and only concede 3. Nick Moore can't see anything but a loss. Patrick Hook, so this is a bit of injury news. I hadn't heard about this yet, but Patson Daka apparently injured for 3 weeks. I just saw that in our internal communications for the Leicester Fan TV team as well. So this definitely is going to be hurting the front, but I would say that we definitely have more depth up front than we do in center back and in defense for sure. I mean, the fact that we're playing Mark Albrighton in defense, I think, says more than enough. Yeah, Maxine also mentioning we have far too many injuries right now. I'm going to be hoping for a draw for this match as well. We're still very early in the pre-match show right now, so we'll get into score predictions a little bit later. But I'm going to be leaning for a draw, honestly, just because I'll never predict a Leicester loss. But it's going to be a difficult match. Fearless Fox, Lookman will be lost against their quality. I guarantee it. Lookman has been another one of those players that's been very hit or miss. I can sympathize with the people who have been not impressed with his performances lately. Although, to be perfectly frank, I have found him to be quite decent. I find that when he's on his game, he has a knack for dancing around defenders, whether he's playing against a team like Norwich or a team like Manchester City. So realistically, I think if he's on form, we could see a really good performance out of him. If he's not, then yeah, then 7-0 defeat at best, according to Patrick Hook. Yes, so Derek, as I just mentioned earlier, apparently Patson Daka has been injured and will be out for 3 weeks. As for Dana Marte, I also thought that he would be going away for AFCON. However, he is listed in the lineup. I have seen that confirmed both in communications from the broadcaster that I'll be watching from, as well as from the team itself. So yes, again, to confirm for Scott, Daka is injured this time round. And then, yes, so I'll put back up the Leicester City lineup. We do have some big names on the bench. I feel like this might be Brendan Rodgers just trying to keep a few cards in his hand because we have a reasonable starting 11 we could still put out, but that'll leave us nothing on the bench itself. So in this case, we have Ndidi, Sumare, and Castagna all on the bench, supplemented as well by Bertrand, Vardy, Chowdhury, Jakupovic, Nelson, and McAteer. To be perfectly frank, I feel like they're going to be kept on there as those sort of bench substitutions for stamina purposes. I don't think we're going to see Yannick Vestergaard playing all 90 minutes here. I don't know when the last match was where he gave a Marte all 90 either. So I could see realistically both of them being substituted in favor of Ndidi and Sumare. Play 2 CDMs in the center back roles, again, just due to the lack of depth that we have at the moment. Additionally, if we go up a goal quickly, even though it came back to bite us against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, I feel like Rodgers would switch to something more defensive, and we could see a player like Tielemans or Dewsbury Hall come off in favor of a defensive midfielder. But get your thoughts in on that. Is it better for us to be keeping a little bit of talent on the bench, or should we be going at Manchester City from the opening whistle? So again, Daka, rumors are saying out 3 weeks. We'll wait to see if there's an official communication from the club sometime soon. Hayden, good to see you tuning in. I did have a lovely Christmas. Thank you very much. I hope you did as well. Yeah, again, so Daka injured at the moment. Damage limitation for today. Yeah, I'm going to be hoping for a solid defensive performance. I think we all will be. We all know about how capable Manchester City is as an attacking team. It's one of their strongest points. And at a moment where Leicester are very weak, especially in central defense, but in defense in general, it's going to be damage limitation for a lot of this match. John mentioning Mahrez always loves to play against us, and Vestergaard needs to show up. Vestergaard is another one of those players. He's been off more times than he's been on, but when he's on, he has that towering dominant form that can really cause problems to attacking players, especially when they try to play long balls or crosses in from corners. But it's just been so difficult to find that class from him, particularly lately. But we'll all be hoping to see a big performance from Vestergaard. And you know what? I love a good redemption arc. I might even call in and say, let's see him score from a corner. Yeah, Manchester City's team does look scary. I didn't get the chance to run through Manchester City's bench, which also, again, has some big names on it. Just to run through that, they have Nathan Ake, Gabriel Jesus, Jack Grealish, Stefan and Carson, 2 goalkeepers, and then Phil Foden, and I believe 3 youth players in the form of Mbete Tabu, Palmer, and Kaiki. However, yeah, a lot of very solid players on that bench. You feel like Pep Guardiola probably knows about the fact that Leicester City have to put out a weaker side, and therefore is as well keeping a few cards in his pocket. Patrick Hook saying we'll only have Perez and Vardy up front after today. John Tower saying 10 behind the ball, park the bus. Z, thank you so much. Yeah, I will be with you all 90 minutes from now until the final whistle. Yes, so let me get the link out into the chat for you to join us. Here you are. So again, we have 20 minutes until kickoff. Please feel free to join us. Get your thoughts in. If you have any residual thoughts on Liverpool, if you want to discuss Leicester's holiday season and how we're going to play today, click on that link and come join me. Yeah, Simon Batterby saying it'll be a cricket score. I have $59 on Manchester City scoring 5 or more. What'll be your return on that? Let us know in the comments. Curtis saying, I'm glad to see us have 2 center backs, to say the least. Where's Wilf today and Sumare? They are both on the bench today, so they are at least in the match day squad. I was mentioning earlier that I think that's going to be a matter of probably just keeping some cards in our hand for if we need a tactical change midway through the game. But yeah, the fact that we are having actual center backs in the center back role is good. I'm just a little worried about putting Mark Albrighton on right back because he's a player that plays well going up and down the pitch, but we're going to need all 4 defenders sitting back and just sort of trying to sustain against what will be very likely sustained pressure from those Manchester City players. Yeah, we have been quite unlucky with injuries lately. Jono has joined us in a lovely Christmas sweater. If you want to give me a thumbs up, I'll be happy to add you on. How are you doing today?
Hi, Elijah. Yeah, I'm doing well. Happy Christmas to you.
Happy Christmas as well. So a very strong Manchester City lineup, and I would say a sort of middle of the road Leicester lineup. Lot of people that are not feeling good coming into this match. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm not confident, to be honest. I think, if we get anything at all, then it's an absolute bonus, isn't it, today? I don't think there's anyone who's realistically thinking that we're going to win this. But you never know. Boxing Day does throw up some strange old results. So you just never know. So I'm not going to rule it out, but realistically, if we can get a point, I think that would be fantastic. If we are to lose, then I'm just hoping it's not going to be 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or whatever.
Completely agreed. Completely agreed.
Yeah, I mean, Vestergaard would be an interesting one because he actually played okay, didn't he? When we played Man City previously, he did all right in that game.
Yeah, I was mentioning before that he's just very hit or miss, and I feel like a lot of people have been jumping on. I'll admit I have as well, because he has been missed far more often, especially over the last few games, but who knows? Maybe he's a bogey for Manchester City, and he could just put in a 5-star performance today.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope so. I'm not his biggest fan by any means, but he owes us a performance, I feel. And like I say, I'm not confident today at all. But let's just see how it goes. If we can sit back and frustrate them, if we can get our set pieces right, let's see if we can get those right. That's what made me laugh when you said Vestergaard from a corner. It just made me wonder, which end are you talking about, Elijah?
Fair enough. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, let's just hope that, Santa's brought us a nice opportunity to get something here. I don't know, but
I wanted to offer, I think, one ray of light, which is, I think across the board, we've been hearing a lot of fans saying they don't expect us to get anything out of this match. Anything that basically doesn't break our Southampton record for largest margin of victory will be a good result. Do you think the fact that that pressure is sort of off might help this team perform a little bit better? Because I think we may have even seen something a little similar to that on the opposite end of the field against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. They were playing a lot of their reserve players. When we went up by 2 goals, there wasn't much expectation left on Liverpool, and that left them open to sort of play freer football and really put pressure on that I don't think Leicester City was accounting for. Do you think the fact that no one is really expecting big things out of Leicester for this game, it could open us up to be a little bit more creative?
Yeah, I mean, there could be something in that. I mean, I put that more in the camp of clutching at straws than realistic, but there's a chance. I mean, like I say, I mean, if you look at history of Boxing Day games, it does throw up some weird and wonderful results every so often. And so, who knows? It might be today's the day that we get some sort of weird and wacky result. Who knows? But yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
if you're looking at things objectively, then you know, we've got it stacked against us. We're putting essentially half of our, you know, a reserve team out essentially against probably the best team in Europe, and they haven't got many injuries. They've got not really many worries. They haven't played for a long time. So looking at all these things, it's not looking hopeful, is it? But I want to be optimistic, and I want to say that, you know, let's hope that we can get something. If we can show a really solid defensive performance and lose, then I think that's a positive. You know, if we can show that we can keep them down to 1 or 2 goals, then for me that would be a real positive to show that, you know, Vestergaard could hopefully do a job, and you know, Marty, he's always solid and does some, you know, puts in a decent show. So it's an opportunity for these guys, I think, to show that they've got something there to offer. And so if we can get a point, I think that would be great. If I'm not saying that we can get a victory, but obviously that's what I would love. But if we are destined to lose this, then I'm hoping that we can keep the scoreline in some way respectable and actually show that we're actually improving defensively, because they are an amazing team. Let's not beat about the bush. They're an amazing team. So if we can keep them, you know, if we are to lose, then if we can keep the scoreline down and show that we are improving set pieces in particular, and more solidity in the defensive manner, in the defense, then that would be a positive walking away from this. I think it was a big disappointment on the Liverpool game. You know, when we went 2-0 up and then 3-1 up, I was fully anticipating us to win that. And quite frankly, we should have done with the team that Liverpool put out. So whether we see a reaction today, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm pretty much in the same boat where, you know, I'll admit that I'm worried this is going to be a very long watch along to host. However, again, I have that, you called it grasping at straws, and I'll completely agree with that. But I think the pressure is off. And one thing that I always say, like whether it's when we're beating Newcastle or, you know, when we're in a pre-match against a team like Norwich or Brentford or Leeds, one of the teams we would expect to beat, this is the Premier League. Anybody can beat anybody on any match day. And Boxing Day always throws up interesting results, like you said. Let's not write the match off before it kicks off, but I think it is going to be very telling early gates. But yeah, I'm definitely concerned. We're getting into the last 10 minutes, so before I let you go as well, I'd love to hear like a specific score prediction from you. We'll get a few from the chat in as well, and then I'll share mine as well before kickoff.
Okay, I'll tell you what I hope for, which would be a 1-1. Realistically, I think we will score, but I think realistically it'll be 3-1 to them. I'm hoping that we can keep it within 2 goals of them. So yeah, I'll say I think we're going to lose today, probably 3-1. And I don't like saying that. I don't want to say that, but that's just me with my head talking. My heart says, you know, maybe we can do a smash and grab, but
you take the words out of my mouth just before I say them. I was going to say, I always, whenever I don't think we're going to win, I'll offer a head and a heart prediction, which is like head very similarly. I'm thinking this could be like a 3-1 or a 3-0 Manchester City. But with the heart, I'm going to make my official prediction a 2-2. We've been scoring a lot of goals lately.
Yeah.
It's just defensively, we have not been good. But I think with a reasonable performance, we can pull off a 2-2.
Yeah, Maddison's in good form. Nacho's coming in, playing against his old club. He likes to play against City, doesn't he? So let's see. He might put a shift in and surprises. I say surprises. I mean, I think that Nacho's deserved to start for a long time. So Yeah, let's wait and see. I like to be optimistic on a day like today, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be that today. I'm just going to say, let's hope for a 1-1. That's what I'm hoping for, or 2-2. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Fair enough.
I'm sure.
All right, well,
I'm sure that's what Jamie's going to say. 2-2 away from home. That's what he always says, isn't it?
I'm hoping to get him all that. You'll get the 2-2 from him, and you'll get if you can't win, don't lose. Which
Yeah.
I think is a big mentality they need to carry in today.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. And yeah, we'll be happy to have you at half or full time as well.
Okay, enjoy the game.
Take care. All right. Similarly, if anybody else would like to join us just before kickoff, we still got 9 more minutes before kickoff. Please click on that link in the chat. If you can't see it, I'll be happy to put it back into the chat again. Let's get a few more of your thoughts in as well. And if you have one, please get your score predictions in the game. You can be pessimistic, you can be optimistic, you can be realistic. Get your predictions in, and I will pop them on screen. Yeah, Nick saying I'm optimistic that we'll scrape a 5-1 loss. Fee 2-2 in memory of Desmond Tutu, as Jamie would always reference, who has now passed away. Let's see if we got any other score predictions in here. Dave Gavin with a 2-2. And Alessio with a 5-0 to Manchester City. And Dave, so I mentioned this a little bit while Jono was on. One of the things that I'm taking as a point of optimism, is a bit of a ray of hope for this match, is that the pressure is off here. I don't think there's a single... I don't think Gary Lineker is going to expect us to win this game. So I think that means we can play a little bit more freely. We can have fun on the ball. We can get creative in ways that when there is an expectation on Leicester City, we just can't really do. We've got a few more score predictions coming in. LCFC Gray coming in with a 4-0 Man City. Stun Grenade with a 4-1 Man City. Hassan with a 6-1 Man City. And DMMK Swift with a 1-0 Vestergaard last-minute header. So I know that if there's anybody out there that's like screen recording and saving watch-alongs for the reactions, I'm going to get absolutely torn apart for predicting a Vestergaard header from a corner in this match. But I always like to predict something wild and wacky like that. Sometimes I'll give myself what I call like a little financial Baldilocks carrying over from last season, which is like I'll buy a kit if something ridiculous happens. It's Boxing Day, so I think I'll play one this time round. I'm going to say if Mark Albrighton, as the left back, can get an assist to a headed goal, I'll buy a kit. 7-1 for Man City, says Marcus Clark. Nazim turning DMMK's prediction on his head with a last-minute Vestergaard own goal header. Ross saying, with the team we're putting out, it's damage limitations, but I hope I'm proving wrong. One thing that I would dispute with that is I would say we wouldn't go with a 4-3-3 if it's damage limitations. We wouldn't put that many players up front. Brendan Rodgers very rarely plays 3 up front. He doesn't really play those forward wingers very often. He'll normally play those through more of like a Castagna Albrighton type role in a midfield 4 or even in a defensive 4 in like a 4-2-3-1 type formation. So the fact that we have a 4-3-3, I'm quite optimistic that I don't think we're just going to be sitting back and defending as much as we might think. Big Dan asking how many kits do I have? I have many. It's been sort of the hobby that I've had through the pandemic. I've been collecting kits. For those of you who think I have a lot of money, I don't. I buy almost all of them secondhand from like used sites and marketplaces and things like that. But yeah, I have at the very least for the Prem, I've got every team but Brentford, so that's why I'll always put both teams up for a watch along. Then I got a fair few other teams from the UK and around Europe as well. Teams are just coming out, and with that, I'm getting a lovely reminder from my backroom team. If you are enjoying the watch along, if you're a Manchester City fan that's here for a little bit of Schadenfreude, thinking that this match isn't going to go well, give us a subscribe and a like anyways. It helps us grow the channel, helps us get into the hands of more football fans and Leicester City fans the world over. That's how I found this channel. So if you are enjoying it, whatever platform you're on, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe, and it will very much help us out. Stun Grenade saying, Albrighton won't get up much today. No one to really get on the end of his crosses. Yeah, outside of corner kicks, I think it would be a real struggle for that sort of thing. But where I would say that, and why that I think it's a more unlikely thing for me to buy a kit like full price for is I don't think he's going to be playing crosses in for headed goals very much. Where I think Mark Albrighton will play very well is a through ball to Iheanacho. He's pacey. Lookman as well has a great ability on the ball and a reasonable pace. I think that he'll be able to play like those lofted through balls that might be able to just sneak through that Manchester City back line. Again, very optimistic, but I think it could happen. Don't you dare buy a Forest shirt or a Derby or a Coventry. I will say nothing about my collection from that regard. We might play them in a cup, so sometimes you need them for the backdrop. MVT3, where are you located? So I'm from Canada, so it's early morning up here. For the Leicester Fan TV team, we have a lot of people, obviously, from across England, but we also have myself from Canada, and we have Michael, who's from Seattle in the United States as well. John Lloyd saying it's going to be a massacre. Hey, we won't know until kickoff. Just a quick update. So where the broadcaster was originally saying it was going to be a 4-3-3, I have an update now that it will be a 4-4-1-1 formation for Leicester City. I'll see exactly how that lines up when they show the formation. So Thomas Albrighton wingers on the back, Perez and Lookman wingers in the midfield three with Iheanacho and Madison playing a sort of staggered front two. Carmen, thank you for clicking on the link. Because we're so close to kickoff, I'm not going to add you on screen, but please join us at either halftime or full time, and I will be happy to have you on. I will say, I do own one. I got it for dirt cheap. It's the same way I got my Derby shirt, dirt cheap. I would never pay full price for them, ever. And I have never worn them. They are there for if we play in the cup. Sean asking, how did I become a Foxes fan? So I got into soccer in the 2007-2008 season, just after the 2006 World Cup. That was what really got me into football. And I followed a lot of teams, like a whole basket of them. Most of them were English. And they were all from like articles that I get from imported magazines that I'd buy. And I watched a lot of Manchester United when I first got in because, you know, it was 2007, 2008. That was that team you could watch if you were in Canada. But there was an article actually about Leicester's relegation to League One, and that was the first I'd heard of Leicester. And I just liked this team that had like this goofy sponsor on the front of their shirt, a nice looking blue kit, a fox for a logo. I just thought they were a nifty team, so they kind of joined that basket. And as they rose back up in the leagues and started to do better in the Premier League, establishing themselves the Great Escape, I just sort of gravitated towards them. I couldn't tell you an exact year where I would say like I became like a Leicester City fan, but it was really just a point where I stopped wanting other teams to do well and I just wanted Leicester City to do well. A lot of people saying that Rodgers is trying to get sacked right now. I would say that as of right now, we are very limited by the number of injuries that we have. And really, Brendan is just trying to do the best with what he has. We're obviously very hampered, especially in defense. Between COVID cases and injuries. I'm not sure what's going on with at the Seagrave facility. I'm still optimistic about what Seagrave will do for Leicester long term, but since we've gotten there, we've had many injuries. And it will remain to be seen. Yeah, AJ, a lot of people thinking that we're going to play very defensively, play like Burnley. Do you have any plans to make a game this season or maybe next? Honestly, it's very difficult with what's going on. You know, like I've gotten 3 doses of the vaccine, and if you haven't yet, I highly advise, like, if you can, please get vaccinated. But it's very difficult to travel right now, especially to go overseas, particularly to be on a flight for that long. So I bought Fox Plus membership so that I could buy a ticket for for a match this season. I don't think it's going to work out this season, but I'm going to continue to renew my membership, and I'm hoping sometime within maybe the next, if not this season, next season or the season after, I want to come to, if not a home match, which is what I would want to the most, probably an away game against one of the London teams, because it's a lot cheaper to get to London than Leicester from my hometown here. Fee, most likely I will be doing this watch along solo. However, again, I'd love to have as many of you possible on at half or full time as well. Vardy is I think it's a little bit of both. Vardy is both benched, but he did have a little bit of hamstring issue at the end of the Liverpool game, which was why he has, which is why he didn't take a penalty. And yeah, Nick Moore, it was 442 and World Soccer were the magazines I used to buy. So game has kicked off. I will keep you posted on anything exciting that's going on. If you are watching at home, on your own television screens or on a stream, Leicester City are attacking to the right-hand side of your stream while wearing their gray and pink third kits. Manchester City obviously wearing their sky blue home shirts. How did you celebrate our time? So it was a little bit more muted on my end of things. Normally I just do a lot of like yelling and jumping. I was kind of incredulous when it happened. I couldn't believe that Leicester City had won a title. I don't think any Leicester City fan expected that at the start of the season. But again, I didn't really have a lot of other Leicester fans to celebrate with, so it was just very muted. Sterling already in the Leicester City penalty area, but his cross across the face of goal is handily cleared by Yannick Vestergaard. Some good positioning there as we have finished the first minute of play. Just showing on replay there, Sterling may have been kept onside by Amarte there had that ended up being a goal, but some good, solid defensive play early on by Vestergaard. Patson Daka's injured at the moment, apparently. But yeah, so I would say in terms of celebrating the title win, it was more muted, but I was ecstatic. I think actually I celebrated the FA Cup win a little bit more extravagantly because that was one where I had a little bit more expectation that we could actually win it. I was out of town at the time, but I was following along with a live feed of the game. And when we got the, not the FA Cup, the Community Shield. And when we got the goal, I was in an elevator with a bunch of other people, and I jumped and screamed, and kind of surprised everybody else that was in that elevator at the time. I did actually watch the FA Cup final on TV. So as it stands, the Manchester City corner did not come to anything. City currently holding possession. They have been holding a lot of possession as it stands. At the moment, currently just holding it amongst their defense, trying to find some sort of hole. Quick bit of play as Manchester City breaks into the penalty area, but that is cleared by Luke Thomas as far as Lookman. Lookman is dispossessed. Ball now on the wing for Manchester City. They're coming into the penalty area through Mahrez. He breaks past his defenders, sends Dewsbury Hall to the ground, passes over towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne across the face of goal. That will be cleared. Yes, just for the record, if you ever see me talking about like something banal, it just means that there's nothing actively happening in the match. Ball currently held by Cancelo. He has a little bit of back and forth with Mahrez. Breaks into the middle for Bernardo. He holds possession in the penalty area, turns his back to goal, passes towards De Bruyne. His shot is blocked by Dewsbury Hall. Appeals for a handball that will not be given. Believe that the ball went off of De Bruyne's hand on the rebound there. Leicester City will regain possession and hold it towards our corner. Big clearance, trying to find Iheanacho there, will not find him. Ball now being held by Fernandinho in the center circle. Manchester City pouring on the pressure right now. I'd say 2 quality chances so far for them. We're 3.5 minutes in. Sterling gets past his man, nutmegs Amarte. Ball goes across the face of goal and is cleared by the Leicester City defender. It goes back to the halfway line. Ball now being passed back and forth with Fernandinho and Laporte. Ball played onto the wing. Just trying to find some space, but some good defensive work by Mark Albright in there. Now trying to go up the middle. Fernandinho, lofted ball, looking for Kevin De Bruyne. He'll collect it in front of Vestergaard. Turns, shoots, goal. 4 minutes in, and it is 1-0 to Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne with the opening goal for this match. And it is Manchester City 1, Leicester City 0. Credit where it's due to Manchester City. They played well. They were pouring on pressure. Just showing the replay now. They played up through the middle, and it was a lofted through ball. De Bruyne kind of left unmarked. Vestergaard was chasing it down. Maybe you could claim that he could have done a little bit better on the lofted ball, but he really caught him flat-footed there. De Bruyne collects in the penalty area, doesn't really get pressured, turns, shoots, and there was really nothing that Kasper Schmeichel could do about that. And it is 1-0 Man City after 5 minutes. Always time to turn things around. It's early days right now. Aaron, to update you, from what I've heard, Daka injured in training, will be out for 3 weeks. Leicester City immediately trying an attack again. Through ball, looking for Iheanacho, will be collected by Ederson. Yeah, I know. When sometimes I say things and I know they're going to get clipped by those compilations of like, Watchalong host has to eat his words. That was one of those examples. Very poor defending by Vestergaard there. And it is 1-0 Manchester City. Little bit of passing around at the back at the moment for Manchester City. Oh my goodness. So for these opening 5 minutes, they've just shown possession stats, and it is currently 97% possession for Manchester City to 3% possession to Leicester City. Manchester City just holding possession right now, passing the ball back and forth amongst their back line. I believe that was between Diaz, Fernandinho, and De Bruyne. Now they're looking at coming up the wing. Ball with Sterling on the left, under pressure by Tielemans. Tielemans will pressure him enough. Ayoze Perez will collect the ball. Leicester City now have possession. Ball with Maddison. Maddison tackled by Fernandinho. That's a foul and a free kick. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you all had a lovely holiday. I hope you all had a better holiday than we will all have a Boxing Day if this match continues as is. Manchester City have been holding a lot of possession so far. I think that is how we are losing already. They've already had a good few chances. The XG on this game is going to be off the charts. Just to give you a little bit of advising so far. So we are 7 minutes into the match, and it is currently 2 shots, 1 shot on target for Manchester City, 80% possession to Manchester City. I mean, it was always going to be a little bit worrisome with Albrighton playing defense anyways, because that's just not how he plays, but we're doing what we have to just put a side out. Kevin De Bruyne now coming forward, marked by Luke Thomas, but makes his pass over. He finds, I think that's Gundogan to Cancelo. Cancelo will pass it across. He finds Zinchenko onto the other wing towards Sterling. Sterling back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko plays it back to Fernandinho. Fernandinho plays a long ball across, intercepted by Luke Thomas. Ball is regained by Manchester City and is now being played by Cancelo. Cancelo to Fernandinho in the center. Manchester City just trying to calm things down a little bit, hold the ball, goes out for a throw into Manchester City, and not even showing play anymore. So to answer your question, because I know this game isn't available on TV in the United Kingdom, so being from Canada, I have a subscription to the official broadcaster here. They show all the Premier League matches, so that's how I'm able to get the game on my screen. Also, Counselor, good to see you. Manchester City already on the attack again. Cross was blocked by Vestergaard. Foul against, I think that was against Lookman. It's a little bit hard for me to make out the numbers at the moment. The live stream's a little bit low resolution. But a free kick to Leicester City just outside the penalty area. Dewsbury Hall passes it back to Amarte. Over to the wing with Albrighton, back and forth with Tielemans. Again to Dewsbury Hall. He's forced to play it back towards Kasper Schmeichel. For those of you who are actually watching the game, I think we can expect to see a lot of that, as Jamie used to call it, tippy-tappy around the back, just trying to hold possession and just not give them many chances to shoot. Ayoze Perez with a nice through ball onto the wing. Cross comes in, looking for Lookman. That ball just will not get to him, and it is a Leicester, I think it's a Leicester City corner kick. Might be a goal kick given the way the players are reacting. It was a tight tussle, but maybe it was better marking than I thought, and it just puts Lookman off the header. Yeah, it's a goal kick, Manchester City. John's saying, we won a free kick. That's something to build on. Yes, it is. Hey, silver linings. Silver linings. Callum mentioning it's 1-0 West Ham already. I will quickly pull up the other scores as well so I can keep you updated. on other results around the Premier League, around the horn. Southampton currently 1-0 up against West Ham United as Manchester City come forward again. Riyad Mahrez on the right wing under pressure from Thomas. He finds Bernardo Silva. Bernardo threads it through towards De Bruyne. Big sliding tackle by Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Stops that from being a cross across the face of goal, and it is a corner to Manchester City. I think it was Mad About Foxes on social media called them the Southampton Chuckle Brothers, and I can see that has really started to catch on. But yes, Southampton 1-0 up. Mohamed El Yunusi with the goal in the 8th minute as Manchester City set up to take the corner kick. De Bruyne is there as a short option, but they're holding the corner as there's a little bit of a tussling between Diaz, who's being marked by Iheanacho. And again, they're stopping the play over and over again. Diaz just trying to get himself a penalty with all the tussling that he's doing with Iheanacho. Corner comes in, headed out. Players go to the ground, no penalty given. And Manchester City maintain possession on the left wing. Beats his man twice. Ball goes to Fernandinho. Fernandinho cannot get past Perez, and that is out for a throw-in. They're just showing it right now. Might be appeals for a penalty with Laporte getting potentially pulled down by Tielemans. Just showing the replay here now. Maybe that outstretched hand by Tielemans could be considered to be a foul. I think the referee had an outstretched hand, so this might be getting reviewed. There's some discussion ongoing with Fernandinho and De Bruyne with the referee. I'll let you know what comes of this. At the moment, just kind of all quiet on the Western Front here. Yes, this is going to VAR. Checking for a possible foul by Tielemans on Laporte in the Manchester City penalty area. Video referees are currently evaluating the situation. He is going to the screen to review this. So this could be a penalty for Manchester City. Fans have their phones out to watch the referee look at the screen. He has reviewed and is giving his ruling, and it is a penalty to Manchester City. Yuri Tielemans can't believe it. Brendan Rodgers obviously displeased. And it is a penalty to Manchester City. 13 minutes into the game, they have a chance to make it 2-0. Kasper Schmeichel failed to save any of the penalties in the shootout against Liverpool. This is his chance for redemption here against former Fox Riyad Mahrez, set to take. Mahrez steps up. Whistle's been blown. Takes a stuttering run up. 2-0. And he celebrates with his teammates. Manchester City 2. Leicester City 0. Kasper guessed the right way. However, it was a well-taken penalty by Mahrez. He jumps up high and or he shoots the ball high, out of reach. Not really much any goalkeeper could do about that. And 14 minutes in, it is Manchester City 2, Leicester City 0. Thank you, Andrew. I do greatly appreciate that. It's hard to get them in Canada. I have been trying, but I have to pay like $200 to get one over here. Leicester City have kicked off and already given possession away to Manchester City. Anthony, I believe you're up early at the moment, tuning in from California. These English refs have to be the worst and most inept in the world. To be honest, it's a give or go penalty. I feel like we would all be appealing the same way if those players were if it was at the other end of the field. I try to keep my my blue glasses off for foul calls. It could just as easily have been a penalty if not. Now I think that Mark Albrighton just got fouled there on the attack on the right wing, but no foul is given. Man City try to break, but Leicester City recollect the ball at the center circle. Yeah, I will Carlos, I'll do my best to keep the energy levels up, but yeah, flying solo. I knew this was going to be a rough game. Leicester City now have the ball in the penalty area. Passes the ball to Madison. He takes a shot, and that is about the net's width wide of the net. Clear and obvious error. It would be hard to say that was. So that shot, in all fairness to Madison, that was deflected. So it is a Leicester City corner. Yeah, a lot of people saying that it's yeah, big club bias. But yeah, this is kind of the perspective I have to have, is that they could have said the same about our penalty against Newcastle. Corner comes in, headed out by the defenders at the near post, falls to Albrighton. His volley, he might be hurt there as he seems to have caught a leg. He's down clutching his ankle at the moment, and a clear bit of discomfort. And Mark Albrighton, not the kind of player to stay on the ground unless he was really hurt. Just showing the replay here. Ooh, I'm not going to call it cynical, but it was clumsy by Riyad Mahrez. He sticks his studs out, lunging in studs first towards Mark Albrighton, and on the follow through just catches the top of Albrighton's foot with his studs. Definitely going to be a stinger, but on the bright side, Albrighton is back on his feet. He looks like he will stay on the match. Thank you, Carlos. I will take any comparison I can get to Tom Holland. Michael calling for a red card for Mahrez there. I don't even think he's going to get a yellow for that. Madison to take the free kick. This is in the kind of position that he likes to take a good free kick from. To be fair, when I'm playing in FIFA, Madison always scores his free kicks from here. They have a man lying down behind the wall. Free kick is taken. And it's off the bar! Deflected out by Edison onto the bar. That was a fantastic free kick by Madison. It should be 2-1, but credit where it is due. That was incredible goalkeeping by Ederson there. He definitely made the goalie work there. OX, yes, we are currently playing in the I don't think it's that bad a kit, I'll admit. I like the mint one better, but we are playing in the gray and pink kit. Corner kick to Leicester City. Set up to be taken. Corner kick comes in. Ederson will punch out, but only as far as Yuri Tielemans, who will let it roll out for a throw-in. Yeah, it was a brilliant free kick. I'd say if that went in, that'd be part of the highlight reel. And it was a very, very good save by Ederson there. I'll tell you what, Andrew, you almost had to get me a Brentford kit. Leicester City are starting to get a little bit more settled into this match. Cross comes in from Albrighton, headed by Madison. Will not find anybody else in the penalty area and will be cleared by Manchester City. Up as far as Mahrez. Mahrez under a very high press from Luke Thomas. For the record, this is up right outside their penalty area. Ball falls to Tielemans. Tielemans will find Perez. Perez shoots from a distance, and diving Ederson will keep hold of that. A couple quality chances here for Leicester City. We are starting to get back into this game. I don't know that we're going to get back into this game in terms of being able to win, maybe being able to draw. But if we can keep this level of performance up, shouldn't be a massacre at least. Knock wood. I set up at the wood desk for a reason. Ball currently with the Manchester City center backs. Ruben Dias plays the ball over. This is just game management by Manchester City right now. This is the kind of part where I'll start talking about like random banal things because there's nothing exciting happening at this moment. Oh boy. I think that's Bernardo Silva dances through challenges by both Dewsbury Hall and Tielemans to maintain possession along the halfway line. Now played back to Silva on the wing. He plays the ball in towards the middle towards Cancelo. Now up the wing, back with Silva. He has a fair bit of space. He cuts inside. Stuck outside the penalty area, though. He'll find De Bruyne. De Bruyne plays it over to Cancelo across the goal. And that is 3-0 to Manchester City as Kasper Schmeichel stops the ball going across goal. However, that just falls like an invitation to the feet, I think, of İlkay Gündoğan, who puts it in. And that is Manchester City 3, Leicester City 0 at the 20-minute mark. Thanks, Anthony. I hope you had a great Christmas as well. If any of you got any if you got anything nice for Christmas, let me know. I did get I brought this in for a bit of prop comedy. I got a nice Fox doorstop to keep the Leicester City mood going in all parts of the room. But yeah, 3-0, 20 minutes in. Yeah, Michael, it's we're playing with defenders that aren't defenders against these kinds of players. It's always going to be very difficult. Nick, lovely to hear that you got the Leicester game. I believe you're tuning in from Australia, if I remember correctly. Did you get the home shirt? Did you get the away shirt? Let us know. There's still time to make it 4-3. Michael saying, are we still going to complain about the Prem? In reality, City are making this league into a farmers league. This team is brutal. Yeah, it is one of those things, like they are kind of becoming the Bayern Munich of England in a way. But again, it's one of those things where any team can beat any team in this league, but sometimes you do end up with the result that you're expecting. A half-full Leicester City squad against a near full-strength Manchester City with just essentially a full squad on the bench. What can you expect? Good to hear, Nick. So you got the home kit. Lovely stuff. Ooh, and Carlos got a few bottles of Aqua di Palma. It was lovely. And another LCFC shirt. Very nice. Same question. Did you get the home shirt? Did you get the away shirt? Did you get the pink and gray? Leicester City on the attack now. Patson Daka coming forward on the right wing. Cuts in towards the penalty area. Passes it across goal. Finds Nacho. Nacho shoots. But he just can't get any power on it the way that he was marked. And Ederson will collect. Yeah, Counselor mentioning, regardless of their class, we need to show some grit. They've been showing some industry, I would say, but yeah, it's definitely we've been outclassed so far this game, no doubt about it. Cancelo passes the ball across. I believe that's towards again, hard for me to make out the numbers at the moment. I think that was towards Laporte. Laporte will play the ball back to Diaz. And again, they're just holding possession. They're waiting for us to come forward to challenge them so that they can play the ball high and over. And that's exactly what they do. Finding Mahrez, he passes to Fernandinho, who goes across field to Sterling. Sterling lays it off towards Gündoğan. Gündoğan gets himself into some space, gives the ball back to Sterling in the penalty area. He breaks in, he's tripped, and that is a second penalty for Manchester City in the 23rd minute. Was it Yuri Tielemans again? Did I say Daka? I apologize. I would have meant Lookman then if that ball was on the wing. Either Lookman or Nacho. Ooh, you know what? I'm seeing this replay now. Oh, no, there is contact. From the first angle, it didn't look like there was contact. There is contact. Yuri Tielemans concedes a second penalty on the day. And in the 24th minute, Manchester City with a chance to make it 4-0. Yeah, Mateus, this is a rough match. This is rough. This is a hard watch along to host. Yeah, he made the most of it, but there was contact. I'm a Netherlands fan, and I believe that it was a penalty against Robin in the round of 16 of the World Cup against Mexico. And if I have to try to justify that, I have to try to justify this. Steps up. It's Sterling this time. 4-0. And less than 25 minutes into the game, it is Manchester City 4, Leicester City 0. Just for an update around the horn as well, Norwich currently a goal down to Arsenal. Bukayo Saka scoring in the 6th minute. And Southampton still 1-0 up against West Ham. Tottenham Palace, the North versus South London derby, sitting at 0-0. Yeah, honestly, there's very little in this that that Schmeichel could have done to maybe you could say for the third goal he could have tried to have held it versus parrying the cross that went across goal, but the defenders have to be doing better at marking these center forwards. Leicester City coming forward now, through ball looking towards Thomas, but he's well marked by Cancelo. He stops his cross across goal, and that will go out for a Leicester City corner. Yeah, Michael. You say put that $20 towards getting yourself a nice lunch, because yeah, you would have lost that money. Yeah, exactly. You did well to dodge that bullet. When we play, it's like playing the greatest FUT champs player against the beginner level in FIFA. Yeah. Corner comes in. Ball goes across, headed away only as far as I think that's Madison. Madison will play that ball over, cross back in, or at least attempts to be crossed in, but that will be collected by Man City, and now they look to break. But they can't control it, and Schmeichel will clear that ball back over. He sends the ball high, but that will just go out for a throw-in to Manchester City. Yeah, it's this is a rough one. This is a rough game. Mike, I don't want to start entertaining that yet. But it's 9 goals. Currently held, I believe, by Leicester City for beating Southampton, Manchester United for beating Southampton, both 9-0, and Manchester United for beating Ipswich Town 10-1. Let's time the cycling, GK. Hey, you get some good content on the Leicester City socials out of that. I know that this is something that other fan bases go through as well. Like I know United fan base went through it, Arsenal's fan base has gone through it. I will never hope that Leicester City gets beaten for any ulterior motive. And I realize I've been defending Rodgers a lot, but how much of this is Brendan's fault? We're missing a lot of our squad. Although, in all fairness, there are a lot of people saying that the buck stops with Rodgers. Man City coming forward again. It's Kevin De Bruyne on the right wing. Plays it across. He finds Mahrez, but Mahrez can't control it. The clearance goes back to De Bruyne. His shot is deflected. And they will let that roll out for a corner kick. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I just feel kind of defeated, but I'm not really I don't know, there's other games that hurt more than this one. I felt more gutted at the end of the Liverpool match than I feel right now. Hey, Matt, don't let this ruin your Christmas. Christmas was yesterday. You can let it ruin your Boxing Day, but at the end of this match, go buy like a nice cheap TV. Corner comes in. It's cleared. Will only fall as far as a Manchester City player. Hit. I don't know whether that was a shot or a pass, but it finds Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez passes it back towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne plays a cross in, and that will not find anybody, and it's out for a goal kick. Save the legs for Norwich. Yeah, I'll admit that I do think a lot of yesterday does fall on Brendan. even if we did have to switch out a defensive player, to switch to the back five and invite pressure at Anfield against Liverpool. As a former Liverpool manager, I do admit that I think he should have known better. Ball now coming forward for Leicester City, and some nice 1-2 passing. Finds the ball on the wing. Big cross looking for Lookman on the far side of the penalty area, but just intercepted by Manchester City. But we keep the ball in the area. Ball played to Madison. Madison trying to lose his man, but he sees better than from his fake shot. He plays it across. Ball comes in, and that will trickle out for a Leicester City corner kick. This has kind of been my stance around sacking Rodgers. I just don't know, in its current situation, if we can get a better manager who is currently available into Leicester. As the corner kick comes in, fails to beat the first man, which was De Bruyne. Cross tried to be played in again, but Man City regained possession. Leicester regained possession, though, ahead of Sterling, and is now with Lookman trying to break into the area. He does so, just can't lay it off towards Perez. Perez was in a great position there, but he can't get his ball to the pass. I think that was more Perez's fault than Lookman, but it unfortunately just didn't click. Martin saying, why did we not go there like other teams, stick 11 men behind the ball and hope to make a goal? Okay. Again, this is my orange colored glasses coming out because I'm a fan of the Netherlands national team. They're my favorite national team. Ronald Koeman did an amazing job with the Dutch national team. And him moving to Barcelona was a horrific thing for both them and for him. But I think it would be very difficult for any manager to do well with Barcelona, as Man City come in on the attack again, but Sterling's cross is deflected out off of Tielemans, and it is a corner kick to Manchester City. Comments are coming in hard and fast here, so it's tough for me to get comments in. Anthony saying, I don't understand that argument. If we could get a better manager at the moment, we couldn't get worse. That's a fair assessment. I think it's also just that I'm a very pragmatic football fan as well. So I think that's part of it. Is just like my general pragmatism. I'm not really one for sacking managers very easily, especially in the middle of a season. Corner kick is cleared out by Dan Amarte. And Lookman trying to break with it, but Man City will keep that ball in play and play it back towards Ederson. Jay Cook saying Frank Lampard could be an option. David saying this is a bad result so far. Deserved to be 3-0 down, but how do you put a fight up against the best team with so many injuries? We're deluding ourselves if we expected any better. Dardoy is a potential manager. Who was the... I realize this is going to sound disrespectful, but who was the last team that he managed? Because I don't remember off the top of my head. I believe he was he's Hungarian. If he's the person that I'm thinking of. Man City coming forward again, but that won't get past Yannick Vestergaard. He clears the ball out, looking for Iheanacho, but he won't hold the ball. Yes, sorry. So Dardoy last coached Hertha Berlin. Just quickly pulled that up on Wikipedia for myself. Because I remember him as a player, Dardoy. Mahrez with the ball on the right wing. Good tackle by Luke Thomas. Puts it out for a Manchester City corner. Do you really think Burnley are going to let go of Sean Dyche, though? That man's blood is claret. Fonseca could be an option. That's fair. That's fair, Nazim. Kenny Dalglish. Ball now in the penalty area. Amazing save by Kasper Schmeichel. Denies Sterling at point blank range to stop it from being 5-0. Seeing that he would have been onside too, but a good diving save by Kasper. Corner kick to come in, to be played in. High and in. Headed away. Will land at the feet of, I think that's Tielemans. He plays the ball to Madison, and now Leicester City look to break. Ball played to Dewsbury Hall. He plays it out on the wing towards Lookman. Lookman beats his man. He's got acres of space. Coming forward. Plays his cross across it. Will fall to the feet of Madison. Madison shoots, and that is high, wide, and not very handsome. Goes without saying. No, absolutely. I hope that nobody is applying any sort of this, is doing anything racist in the chat. I haven't seen anything, but yeah, no room for racism in football at all. It's honestly one of the disappointing things I found about, you can't get Premier League jerseys with the no room for racism patch. I'd love to add that, if I could get that on my shirts, but the only ones that I've seen with it added are always counterfeits. Phil asking the big questions here. Is this to be expected due to injuries, or should we expect better? Little from column A, little from column B, I would say. The players have put in, like we haven't been pedestrian. But it almost feels offensive to a player like Vestergaard or Amarte to say that this is expected, because they're Premier League players. Vestergaard played in the Premier League before he was signed by us. Lucien Favre, another person being put forward. Yeah, it's Man City. Counselor saying no injuries yet. I believe the Premier League, they've been really cracking down on postponing matches, and I think they're currently saying that basically if you have the squad, you don't even need the players to be playing in the right positions, but if you have enough outfield players and goalkeepers, you have to play your fixture. Guys, we've got our solution. We just need Messi, Van Dijk, and Haaland. I'll tell you what, I've been playing some FIFA career mode lately with Leicester City. And first off, we sold everybody. Like, I've been playing player mode, so I have no control over the transfer business, but we sold basically everybody. And Trent Alexander-Arnold went to Barcelona, and Ansu Fati went to West Ham United. So, weird. Man City already coming forward again, but their cross is blocked, and I believe that is another corner kick to Manchester City. I can't argue with that. The first goal was Yannick Vestergaard's fault. He was caught flat-footed and let his man get away with the ball. Vestergaard in every team that got 9-0. Go back in time, find out that he was playing for Ipswich when they got beaten by Man United 10-1 as well. A little bit of talking to from the referee. I think he thinks Lookman is encroaching at the moment as Gundogan steps up to take this corner kick. De Bruyne is still sticking there as a short option. Nick, are you mentioning David Beckham as a man? Has he managed anybody yet? Mahrez tries to play. The cross comes over, and from the header away, the ball lands at the feet of Mahrez, who tries to put it back across the face of goal, and it goes off a Leicester City defender and out for another corner kick on the opposite side of the field. They played that corner short. Foul in the penalty area against the Leicester City player, and that's a free kick. I gotta check this, because if Yannick Vestergaard's father was playing for that Ipswich team, that will blow my mind. It's another one of the stances that I have that, like, if a player ends up wanting to leave Leicester City, then let them go, because you need players who play not just for the paycheck, but you need players who play for the badge that they wear on their chest. And the moment a player gets disenfranchised and wants to leave, they stop doing that. Yeah, I don't even think, like, in my career mode, I think they sent Soyuncu to Lazio recently. And we won a treble, and he still left. I know a lot of us are talking about who we would sign in January, but we don't have money. Brendan Rodgers already came out and said that. Ball is currently out of play for a Manchester City throw, and I'm going to take a quick moment to update you around the horn. Still 1-0 for both Norwich and Southampton. Tottenham have taken a 2-0 lead against Palace, and Palace have had Wilfred Zaha sent off in the 37th minute. So looking very good for North London there. Schmeichel now has the ball. There's some jeering going on, and I can't tell whether that's for Schmeichel's time wasting or if that's by the Leicester fans. Ball played by Vestergaard. He'll find that's Thomas on the wing. He plays it forward to Perez. Perez plays it across the penalty area. He finds Madison just outside the penalty area. Madison plays it to Dewsbury Hall, up and over the net. Michael coming in and saying Brendan is never getting the sack. He'll quit before he's sacked. This might be his best gig ever. I could imagine that, like, if we're a club that can fire Ranieri after what he did, if we're a club that could fire, and I realize there were extenuating circumstances around this, but like we sacked Pearson after what he did. I don't think any manager is immune in the Leicester City clubhouse. I just don't know that we would sack him during the season. I think he could go at the end of the season. Like if we end up with no Europe whatsoever, because at least that's the bar that I'm setting, is like I want us to qualify for Europe. That can be through winning the Conference League. That could be through the league. That could be through the FA Cup. If we get Europe, I think he stays. If we don't get Europe, I think he goes. Mahrez with the ball. He crosses it in, finds Sterling on the opposite wing, inside the penalty area. Sterling dances around and loses Albrighton, but is forced to play the ball backwards. Zinchenko now with the ball. He plays the ball back towards Sterling. A little bit of back and forth amongst the defenders. We're forcing Sterling to face backwards, which is a little bit better. Thank you for that, Nick, by the way. As De Bruyne has the ball, he plays it into the penalty area, but that is collected and cleared by Dewsbury Hall. If you ever see me wearing this cap on feed, it means that my hair is terrible today. And yeah, like that, it's the minimum expectation that I have for this season, and where I will determine success or failure. I'll take Conference League again next season, just because of how good England has been. Sorry for that. Kelechi Iheanacho collected the ball on a nice through ball that was bobbling for him. It was a little hard to control, and he just couldn't collect it in time as Ederson dove in and collected it. Now Manchester City on the counterattack. De Bruyne played the ball across towards Mahrez, but Mahrez shoots wide of the post. Yeah, because I know, like, back when Locks did the watch-alongs, he had the Baldy Locks bets. I'll never bet anything physical, but I'll make like a little financial bets, like I said, for like I'll buy a kit. Gundogan gets caught by a big tackle, but advantage is played. Bernardo Silva towards Sterling. He has the ball, but is facing backwards. He plays it back towards Gundogan. Gundogan to De Bruyne. De Bruyne to Zinchenko. Zinchenko back towards Sterling. And they're just holding possession in the Leicester City third at the moment and play it back towards the halfway line. Play is just really calm right now. Even the stadium is quiet. Like, because I don't have a co-host this time around, I can keep game audio on a little bit. You could hear a pin drop in this stadium right now. Which is funny because you'd be expecting some songs out of the Manchester City fans. I know that there's always jokes that they don't fill their stadium, but like there's a reasonable crowd in here. They should be making some noise. You're 4-0 up. Ball with Mahrez. Mahrez feeds a through ball towards Silva. Big sliding challenge by Vestergaard there. That's called a foul, and he is furious with the linesman. And he's been carded for it. I am surprised that was a foul. It looks like he won the ball. Yeah, that was poor officiating. I I don't like to rag on officials, but that was poor officiating. Vestergaard should not have been booked for that. Luis Enrique is a proposed following manager. Yeah, it was just bad officiating. I don't see how that was a foul, let alone a booking. 2 minutes of added time to close out the first half. Free kick to be played in. I believe that's either by. Can't tell who one of the players is. The other one is De Bruyne. He's facing the side, so I can't read his shirt. It will be played in by De Bruyne. Low across the back of goal. Big save by Kasper Schmeichel. Denies Ilkay Gundogan, Manchester City's fifth. LCFC Josh, I always put both clubs' kits on the backdrop for my for the watch-alongs, just because I find it's a nice way to sort of set up who we're playing against. I obviously wear Leicester City shirts more often than I wear Manchester shirts. It's early morning, so I stumble a little bit on my words sometimes. But I collect kits as a hobby. So I have the Premier League barring Brentford at the moment. So at the very least, I'll put one of each kit up, sell and burn them. Fair enough. A lot of us believe we need to buy new players, at the very least, sustenance players to help us get through this injury problem, but we don't have money. We don't have money. I only ever buy my shirts secondhand, unless they're Leicester City. If I ever buy them new from the club, it's only at the end of the season when they get marked down to like £10. So I like this shirt. I only paid like £5 for. This shirt, I think I paid like £15. This one I paid full price. And this was my first ever Leicester City shirt. Halftime at the Etihad Stadium. It is Manchester City 4, Leicester City 0. So a very rough first half for Leicester. All 4 games now at halftime. Your scores around the horn: Tottenham 2, Crystal Palace 0, West Ham 0, Southampton 1, Norwich 0, Arsenal 2, Man City 4, Leicester City 0. As it stands on the Premier League table, we will sit 10th with this result. Brentford, with a game in hand, would be able to go above us with a win. Brilliant first half. Times he's getting sacked too. It's not just transfer price; it's wages, bonus, agents, etc. We have no money for it. Exactly. It's I still don't think King Power has really recovered financially from the pandemic yet. Plus the fact that there's new travel restrictions going in around the world, Leicester just don't have a lot of money. Second half, 5 goals, Vardiol 5. Give me that. I would love it. I would love it. Sean drops players to the bench for fatigue. I'm guessing the professional footballers getting paid a lot of money, so forget fatigue. Mateo starting a sacked in the morning chant. Callum saying it's not good. These are professional players and they should show it. Matty Bond calling it total humiliation. Trev jumping on the punched above our weight, the overachieving train. If any of you would like to join me for halftime and get your thoughts in person, the only caveat I'm going to throw out here is remember that we're not past the watershed. So even though you might be tempted, please keep the language family friendly. But feel free to click on that link, jump on, show me your thoughts. You don't want to just hear my voice all half hour of halftime. Yeah, Trev also saying Man City will put lots of teams to the sword and not just us. And this, I would say, is like a nice positive for us to take from this match so far. A silver lining in the storm cloud. When we get the chance to move forward, we haven't looked too bad. Albrighton down the right has missed chances for crosses. Matters free kick shot over the bar, and Dewsbury Hall has missed as well. Carmen, I've seen you tuned in. If you can give me a quick thumbs up, I'll be happy to put you on camera.
No, you're out.
So a rough first half, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I do. How are you?
I'm okay. I've been better.
Yeah, not good.
So do you have any takeaways from the first half? Anything you're happy about? Anything you're disappointed about?
Don't tell her.
Well, not.
No.
7.
I don't know.
Don't tell her. 4.
Yeah, it wasn't a great first half, but
No.
so we're 4-0 down at halftime. Can we get a quick score prediction from you for the second half? Do you think we'll get a goal back?
6 sizzling sausages, cauliflower.
Yeah.
Cat milk.
Nice.
What no?
Yeah. Well, we'll all be hoping for the best. Unfortunately, I can't hear you too well over the crowd that's with you, so I'll let you go. But thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be happy to have you at full time as well. Okay.
Have a good day.
You too, Carmen. Have a good Boxing Day. Yeah, so a lot of it, let's stay positive. We have been all right going forward, and I think we will get a good chance to get a goal or two back. So we got somebody sitting in the back posting his Leicester fan TV. So this is someone from the team. I'm not sure who. LCFC may be without 9 players, but the manner in which they've conceded these goals is self-inflicted. 2 needless pens, not getting tight on De Bruyne, being slower to react than Gundogan. No excuses. And that's fair. That is fair. It's one of those things, though. Do you think that some of that could be the quality of the players? I hate to continue to rag on Vestergaard, like any of the Southampton players, but like, is it a quality thing? Are they just not good enough? Jono, I've seen you've joined in. If you give me a thumbs up, I'll add you in. Ah, boy.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
It's to be expected, I suppose. It's not unexpected what we've just seen, but I was hoping to see a slightly better defensive performance than that, I'll be honest. Yeah, disappointed. I think people that are shouting for Brendan after today, that's slightly deluded, because let's be honest, we weren't expected. Well, I wasn't expecting anything from this. I think we were writing this game off before the match, to be honest. But I was hoping that we could at least not capitulate like we have. It just seems a little. I know that we've had spells, we've hit the bar, etc., but we've just not been at the races. And the same sort of things apply, really. We're not looking good at the back, and it's clear Vestergaard is a liability. Not much more you can say, really. We aren't showing any signs of any better defensive performances than we've shown up until now this season, to be honest. I know we're playing against a really good team, but I think you pointed out they're Premier League players. Doesn't matter. They should be standing up and putting a fight up regardless. And so 4-0 at half time, and it could have been more, kind of shows, it's a shambles. So what can you say? I mean, I'm disappointed, because as much as I was not expecting anything from this match, I wasn't expecting that at half time. I was possibly expecting to be 1 or maybe 2-0 down at half time, but 4-0 just shows everything for me that we aren't. I mean, I know it's a makeshift team and all of the rest of it, but they're Premier League players, and it just goes to show. To me, it feels like I don't know. Brendan, is he the problem? I don't know. I know we've got a lot of injuries, a lot of COVID issues, etc. But yeah, is he really improving matters? I don't know. I mean, the problem is calling for Brendan to be out. I mean, can we afford to sack Brendan? We just can't. People are not. People that are calling for Brendan just aren't understanding the situation. He's in a contract, a very lucrative contract that he only signed last year. To sack him is going to cost us an awful lot of money to get rid of him. So it's just not. It's just not a sensible argument. You know, we can wish for better things in other from other managers, but you're sacking someone who has proven that he can do a job for someone that potentially is a risk to swap to someone else. In the meantime, you're asking the club to shell out a huge amount of money to sack him. It's just not going to happen. I just think people that are calling for Brendan aren't seeing things in reality at all. I think that there's a chance at the end of the season that he'll probably will leave, and that's possibly part of the reason why we're seeing performances like we are, because I think that a lot of the players probably know that deep down that Brendan probably has maybe got a deal elsewhere, etc. But I think that there will be a deal done at the end of the season to either cut his contract short or whatever and see him move on. But I think sacking him midway through the season just isn't going to happen. So I'm sick and tired of seeing all this Brendan out stuff. Because for one reason, yes, I can understand the frustration, but at the same time, it's just not realistic. Not with the sort of contract he signed before, just a year or two ago. So, I know I'm rambling on, but basically what I'm saying is I'm desperately disappointed from today. It looks like, yes, we haven't resolved any of the defensive issues. Admittedly, we've got, half a team out, but I was expecting us to put up a little bit more of a fight than that. And I'm hoping, that we aren't going to see the same in the second half. Otherwise, we could still see a 9-0. Vestergaard might want to do his 10-0. I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll bring Bertrand on and they'll go for the 9-0. I don't know, but joking aside. But yeah, I want to see a bit more fight and I want to see a little bit more quality. So yeah, frustrated.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Because I can see where fans that are calling for him to leave are coming from, because it is going to be very costly if this continues and we finish like 10th and out of all the competitions, we lose a lot of money by not qualifying for Europe as well. That's fair. Yeah. But one of the things that, and I share your fear of, is that we know Brendan can do a job with Leicester because he has. 5th 2 seasons in a row with Leicester City, I would still say is an achievement, and getting so close to Champions League qualification twice, very good. And as it stands, with the team doing so poorly still under him, with the injuries that we've been facing, with the COVID problems that we've been facing, if we sack him and then end up pulling in another Claude Puel, say, a manager who has European pedigree, but just wasn't made for a system like Leicester's.
Yeah.
Could we end up making the situation worse and owing a bunch of money to Brendan Rodgers to boot?
Yeah, I really think that realistically would be the case if we were to sack him. I think I don't think it's the right call to sack him at this moment in time, although I do understand the frustration. But I am sick and tired of seeing people saying that on social media as if it's going to be, a silver bullet that's going to sort all the problems out. It's just not going to be the thing that's going to sort things out. I think, admittedly, I'm getting to the point now where I'm seeing, the end of probably Rodgers' time, but I think it will be the end of the season is when he'll go. And I think he'll be given the rest of the season to try and turn things around. going back to today, we weren't expecting anything from today. It's almost like we've written this game off. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting us to just capitulate like we have. I wasn't expecting us to win or even get a point. I was hoping for a point, but to be 4-0 down at half time is just desperately disappointing. 1 or 2, I would say fine, but yeah, it's just not good enough, frankly.
Yeah, I agree that just it's one of those things where when something's this calamitous is happening to the club, you want to be able to find I'll call it a scapegoat, but I even just mean like just a reason for it to be happening.
Yeah.
And it's hard to just say that it's injuries and COVID because that doesn't feel substantial enough. That it has to be like players not playing for the manager anymore, or the manager's fault. And I think, unfortunately, because none of us are in the dressing room, none of us are ever going to know.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether the players have stopped playing for Brendan. I haven't been seeing that in the last few matches. I mean, the Newcastle game in particular, it was a good performance, albeit against a really poor team. But admittedly, the defense, the problem I've got with Brendan is that he's had, since I think this time last year, I would say, since we've looked really quite suspect at the back. It's not just this season. It was, halfway through last season, really. And it's one of the big reasons why we dropped out of the top 4 last year is because we started looking quite fragile at the back. And so it's not anything new coming into this season. And he's had time to try and address it, try to sort it out. Certainly the set piece issue was something that came up time and time again last season. And my frustration with Brendan Rodgers is that he's had time to try and address these issues and clearly not done that. So he has a big question to answer against against his reputation almost. If he wants to move on to a bigger job, then that there would be huge questions I'd be asking if I was at Manchester United or whoever else. You'd be saying, well, you'd be asking those sort of questions. Surely that he's had a year or more to try and sort this problem out at Leicester, and for one reason or another, not being able to sort it out. Admittedly, at the moment, we've got, I think also ultimately there's a bunch of reasons why we're in the position we are. COVID and injuries are definitely 2 big ones.
Sorry, John, I gotta let you go because we've just kicked off the second half.
Yeah, man. Okay, sorry about that.
But I'll welcome you back on at full time, though. Thank you for joining us, though.
Yeah, well,
I've got lots to discuss with what you were mentioning.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Thanks a bunch, Jono.
All
right. So yes, like I just mentioned, second half has just kicked off. Manchester City have a throw-in in their defensive third and will be collected by Leicester. There has been a substitution for Leicester City that I can only imagine must be coming with a change in shape, as Timmy Castagna is coming on for Ayoze Perez. I feel like that might be coming with putting more players behind the ball. I don't know if we'll be maintaining that 4-4-1-1 as a result. Manchester City with a throw-in and now just passing the ball amongst their defenders. I can imagine they're just going to be trying to keep possession for much of the remainder of this game. Trev coming in with supporting Leicester as a relationship. They all go through good and bad times. You know what? The bad times wouldn't make the good times feel so good. If you didn't have to play in League One, it wouldn't make winning the Premier League feel so much better. So Manchester City now with the ball, with their back 4, playing the ball, high lofted ball. I think that's looking for Mahrez, won't find him, and that's out for a throw in that De Bruyne will take. Yeah, go for it. Well, funny, 2 different ways of looking at this. You can either go damage limitation or go for it. We will have to see which way we end up going. Fernandinho loses possession. Amarte now with the ball, or sorry, Iheanacho now with the ball coming forward. So that I can keep reference of the players, I have a very small screen that I'm seeing the actual match on, so sometimes I do get players jumbled up. I apologize for that. Amarte now with the ball in center back. He plays it out. So yeah, Castagna is now playing left back. So Mark Albrighton has now moved up into midfield. So it's not a change of shape. It's Mark Albrighton is now out of defense with Castagna taking his place. Dewsbury Hall now with the ball in the midfield, holding it near the center circle. Avoids a challenge by Fernandinho, plays the ball back towards Tielemans. Tielemans sitting very far back in the in defense right now. A little back and forth between Dewsbury Hall, Albrighton, and Tielemans. It ends up going back towards the defense. Vestergaard on the ball now. He plays it towards Amarte. Plays it up through the middle towards Madison. Madison, that's got to be a foul from behind by Fernandinho. And it is. Free kick taken quickly by Leicester. Yannick Vestergaard on the ball. Forced to turn around, but plays the ball forward still to Madison. Madison plays the ball out on the wing towards Castagna. Castagna forward to Albright. Albrighton back to Castagna. And it's back to our defense. Yeah, fair enough, Bill. So as it reads, you're a Manchester City fan. We all know about the bad times. Good luck with the rest of the season. Yeah, an extra defender isn't going for it, but we'll see how this second half plays out. Kieran saying, why take a creative player for a tired player? No disrespect to Albrighton. Albrighton, when he's on, is an incredible versatility player. I just don't think that he was made to be playing on defense. Leicester City coming forward now. Luke Thomas plays the ball in. He tries to find Madison, but that's intercepted by Fernandinho. Fernandinho then shrugs off Lookman and gets a foul off of him. Free kick to Manchester City in their defensive third. We have been moving forward at least once or twice. It's just not with the same intensity that we were towards the end of the half. Jay Cook saying I would even take Nat Phillips right now. Again, it's just a matter of the money. If we have the money to actually pull in any players. Ball now sitting in the midfield with Bernardo Silva. Fernandinho just playing back and forth passing with the defense. Game management. Wasting time. They feel like the game is already over. Just waiting for an opening where they can play the ball up and over. Gundogan now has the ball under pressure by Albright and plays it back towards their center defense. Vestergaard is a fridge feature. I feel like no player has garnered as many nicknames and references in such a short time playing for the club as Yannick Vestergaard has. Some good pressure by Leicester City actually ends up forcing them to lose the ball, but Albrighton gets triple teamed and dispossessed, but we regain possession. Albrighton just can't reach that ball. It was a little overcooked for him, and it's out for a throw-in. Oh, no worries, Michael. Honestly, better to just leave one of us in the firing line for this than two. Honestly, that was a confusing thing. I feel like it may have just been pressure by Pratt. He wasn't getting as much game time. We didn't know the amount of injuries and COVID infections that we were going to get in the club coming into things. Yeah, I do hope you're feeling better, Michael, by the way. But it sounds like you had a great Christmas, at least. Zinchenko on the ball in the center circle. High ball looking towards De Bruyne on the wing. De Bruyne taking on Thomas in the corner. Thomas doing a reasonable job. But he gets past both him and Lookman, and the ball is out for a throw. Ball with, I think that was Zinchenko, plays it over towards Sterling on the wing. Sterling against Castagna. Plays it back towards the middle. Zinchenko. Gundogan. Cleared, but only as far as Diaz. Ball with Cancelo. Fernandinho. Back to the defense with Diaz. Zinchenko. A lot of people not impressed with Brendan Rodgers right now. Oh, and we got another one to add to the Vestergaard collection, the human lamppost. Michael, I know you're a big Hamza Chowdhury fan. Entirely possible we could see him. Manchester City now in the penalty area. Good tackle there, but he's dispossessed again. Ball lands to the feet of Mahrez. That takes a deflection, and that is out, I think, for a Manchester City corner. I still think we could score one. Maybe. If we can, I'd love to see it. This could add maybe 5-1, 5-2. Let's not lose the faith. There's always a chance we could make this 4-4. Stranger things have happened in the Premier League. John, you, like me, like Michael, like Anthony, all had to wake up early for this match out in San Francisco. Let's move on to the next game. Exactly. I think the biggest thing for this one is let's just make sure that this doesn't affect the mentality too much. Let's not get drained by this. Move on to the next game and put in a performance that we need to. Carmen, no worries. Hope to see you soon. If you haven't, please drop a like or a subscribe on the video. Helps us grow. Michael might be getting what he's wanted. Hamza Chowdhury, he's up in the bib on the sideline. Kasper Schmeichel has the ball. It's been very pedestrian right now, this half by both teams. Leicester City have been trying to go forward. Manchester City, they haven't been playing with the intensity that they did at the start of the match. I feel like they expect that this game is already over. Leicester City doing what they can, but it's just Man City just throw bodies behind, and it's just so difficult to get through. Leicester have possession right now, but now there's a high press being played by Manchester City. Vestergaard plays the ball to Castagna. Castagna plays the ball high, looking for Madison, who does an amazing job of controlling the ball. He lays it off for Iheanacho. It's 3 against 1. Iheanacho has the ball. He lays it off for Madison! That's a goal for Leicester City! It's 1 back! And this is where the comeback begins, because it is Manchester City 4, Leicester City 1. Let me find that goal clip. There it is. Madison showing some of his class again, dances around 2 defenders, just with the quality of his touch. And the moment you let him that close to the net with nobody but Ederson to beat, there was only one way that was going to end. Excellent play by Madison. He's not getting down in the dumps with this game. And suddenly, it's game on. Just to answer your question, so I'm Canadian. I know I sound like an American. I'm close to the United States, but I'm from Canada. CF, if we draw this, we're making Champions League. Let's do it. It was a great counterattack. We did well to hold the possession, and just if you aren't watching this on TV, watch the highlights of this game when they get uploaded online. The play by Madison to hold that was incredible. A lovely piece of a lovely touch to just bring the ball up and over his marker, plays the ball through, and then the one-time shot was classy. Good play by Nacho as well. Absolutely. There's very subtle differences between the Canadian and the American voice, and it's hard for even me to identify it sometimes. Like for me, so I'm from Toronto. And the word Toronto is one of the easiest ways to identify somebody from here, because we don't say the second T. And that's the easiest way to identify someone from here. So honestly, it's one of those things that I'm a big fan of the phrase where you don't choose your team chooses you. I just kind of grew into Leicester City. The first time I'd ever heard of them was back in 2008. And then I just sort of grew into the team right the way up until about like 2014, 2015. And at that point, there was no going back. It was a really good goal. And at this point, let's just keep putting pressure on, keep finding the cracks where we can like that. And if we get another goal back, then this game is being blown open. Fans are seeing Iheanacho's name. I got to put the game sound back on. Not much sound going on at the moment in the Etihad, and I bet you the sound that is coming from the fans in dark blue. Thanks, Trev. Yeah, it's kind of like a cute little equal parts British, equal parts American. Unless you go to Quebec. Quebec is a whole different beast. Very fun to visit as well. Foul on Fernandinho by Tielemans, and that will be a free kick to Manchester City, right on the border between the center and the Leicester defensive third. Fee with the 99p super sticker for the goal. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, all of us, we do this on a volunteer basis, so the money goes back into helping fundraise for equipment and to help us pay for the streaming software that we use. So thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. Stay tight to the Man City players and they'll make a mistake. Madison does well to dispossess Gundogan. Starts the play moving forward again. Dances around his marker. Plays the ball to Iheanacho. It's 3 against 2. Through ball play to Lookman. He's 1-on-1. And that's 4-2. And that's another goal back for Leicester City. How about that? And this game is open once more. Again, seamless counter-attacking football comes forward to give that to Leicester. And now, suddenly, if we're just counting open play goals here, it's 2-2. And if we can keep this kind of sustained pressure up, if we can keep playing these good counterattacks, Madison again, the linchpin, linking up with Iheanacho, who again, pixel perfect pass to find Lookman, who again, one-on-one situation, you're going to favor the attacker, and suddenly it is 4-2. For the record, everybody is awake now, so I can be loud for now. Leicester fans singing that we will win 5-4. Hey, there is still half an hour to go in this game, and there is lots of time for us to pull back into this game. Dan, for the record, both penalties were given away by Tielemans. Fee with another 99p super sticker for the second goal. Again, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. Hamza Chowdhury back in his seat. So, Mike, a little bit of give and take for you that we got 2 goals, but looks like Chowdhury won't be coming on for a little bit yet. Cancelo on the ball. He played it to Silva, plays it back, and now it's with, I think it was Zinchenko tries to play it out on the wing towards Mahrez, but he's all over covered by Luke Thomas, and that's out for a Manchester City throw. Just for the record, so Leicester City have changed their shape, and it is now a 5-4-1. And the commentators are just talking about the fact that that change of shape has served Leicester City well. Cross comes in from Manchester City, finding nobody in the penalty area. Tielemans clears the ball. Ball now being passed around amongst the back for Leicester City. Vestergaard gives the ball away. Man City now coming forward on the break. And nothing Mahrez can do with that except put it into the side netting. Let's see what some of these LCSC Gray saying, at least we scored. Phil with a come on you Foxes. Every time I see Nacho play, he impresses me. He's a very good player. It's one of those things where we're very lopsided. We have a lot of good players up front, and we're lacking in the back. So it's very hard for some very talented players up front to get game time, really. Yes, we are definitely happier now because you know what? It's a more respectable scoreline, and it's a scoreline that I could see us starting to get back into. Yeah, there's noise in the Etihad, and it's all coming from the Leicester fans at the moment. The Man City fans are definitely a little more quiet right now. Sterling on the ball. Forced to play the ball back. I'm going to take a quick look at the stats here as well. Still 72% possession for Manchester City at the moment, which shows how efficient we have been on the counter attack. If Vards comes on, you never know. Exactly. Oh, Bishai had a dream coming on from the fans right now. You love to hear it. And it's because we're playing that exact way. We play from the back and counter attack, and we are doing that once again. Ball just can't find Mark Albright in there. And yeah, a lot of football to play. There's great sound coming from the... I normally have to listen to these games on mute because when I have a co-host, we always have the banter back and forth. But hosting by myself, I can listen to the sound in the stands, and the Leicester fans are making noise right now. Mike, it's never too late. Dara mentioning finally playing with passion and pride. Exactly. The Leicester City team has seemed to finally get a little bit more settled into this match. Ooh. Hacked down by Lookman there, De Bruyne was, and that's a free kick for Manchester City. They take it quickly. But we're playing a high press, and we're not really giving them the opportunity to get settled again. High ball that was looking for Sterling, headed away by Albrighton. And surely that's a corner for Manchester City. Ava, if you're asking why you can't see the game here, obviously it's copyright reasons, but that's why we host these watch-alongs. So if you can't watch the game, you can at least get a little bit of play-by-play. Karen keeps saying, Sue. Wait for us to sign Ronaldo, and then you can bring out the Sue. Corner comes in from Man City. Finds Fernandinho. And excellent save by Kasper Schmeichel to deny him. Parries the ball over towards Zamarte, who will hoof that ball back over the goal. And that is another corner kick to Manchester City. Exactly, Michael. It's like Soccer Saturday, but for one team. And especially like if you want to hear that little bit of Leicester bias, you came to the right place. Corner comes in again. Doesn't find anybody. And now Leicester look to counter. Ball with Lookman. He finds Madison. It's 4 against 3 at the moment, but Man City coming back in numbers. Dewsbury Hall. Plays it out onto the wing. Back to Dewsbury Hall. Back to Madison in some space. He shoots from a distance! And parried over onto the bar. Iheanacho makes it 4-3! And suddenly it is a 1-goal game. And who was at the center of it all again? None other but 2 players. It is James Madison and Kelechi Iheanacho. And now Manchester City are being petty here. They won't let us have the ball to bring it back to the center circle. But how about that? It is Manchester City 3, Leicester City, or Manchester City 4, Leicester City 3. It's a good thing I'm not a voice actor because I will have no voice by the end of this month. But what a shot by James Madison, deflected onto the crossbar, and just, I'm going to take a cue from Ali McCoy's here because it falls to Iheanacho, and it's his Christmas, it's his birthday, it's everything rolled into one. And it's just absolutely fantastic. And we've got a chance now to bring this back to 4-4. It's a 1-goal game. I think it's absolutely fair to say Foxes never quit. It's also fair to say B's given us another 99p. Thank you so much. John saying, forget what I said at halftime. What did Brendan say at halftime? I know there were rumors like back from last season that some water bottles got thrown. I can only imagine what must have been thrown. And Lookman goes in with a big tackle to regain possession on the wing. Manchester City look a little shaken at the moment as they try to come forward right now. It's Gundogan. Thank you, Anthony. It takes a 4-3 comeback right now to get me to do a Scottish accent. Ball with Sterling on the wing right now. He finds De Bruyne. De Bruyne crosses it in. He finds Mahrez, but Mahrez forced to turn his back to goal. Good pressing by Thomas right now. Forces him all the way back. He finds Fernandinho. Fernandinho immediately pressed by Thomas. They're forced to play the ball all the way back to the center circle, and the pressure is off for now. But they come forward again. Ball back to Sterling on the wing. There's the everywhere we go chant coming in from Leicester City fans. There's not a lot of sound, if any, coming from the Sky Blue fans at the moment here. Ball played to Bernardo Silva. He breaks into the penalty area, but Yannick Vestergaard sticks a leg out, knocks that out for what's called a corner kick. He's appealing for a goal kick, but it will be a corner. How is this 4-3? It's been an amazing second half so far for Leicester City. Just going to also quickly head back as they set up for the corner. An update around the horn. West Ham Southampton is 2-2 as the corner comes in. Headed up, and it's a goal for Manchester City, and it is now 5-3. Aymeric Laporte finds the goal from an open header on the corner. And it's a 2-goal game again. An absolute goal fest here. Shades of Boxing Day 1963 coming through again. But hey, there's still another 22 minutes to be played in this game. If we could score 3, why can't we score 2? I don't think there's going to be any way that VAR is going to rule this out. Yeah, it was Luke Thomas marking Laporte there, and Laporte is just too tall for him. And it's in for 5-3. Arsenal 3-0 up against Norwich at the moment. Tottenham still 2-0 up against Crystal Palace. And like I said, 2-2 between West Ham and Southampton. And Michael's going to get what he wants. Hamza Chowdhury has his jacket off, and Leicester City immediately on the attack. Kelechi Iheanacho breaking forward and earns a free kick on the, looks like not too far from the penalty area. Man City not happy with that. No, I'm not from England, for the record. I'm from Canada. Ball coming forward. Shot taken at point-blank range, and it is stopped by Ederson. They were showing a couple players on the bench at the time, and they'd completely missed the Leicester City free kick, which was very quickly played and nearly a 4th for Leicester City. Ederson forced into action there. They haven't even been able to show us a replay of that free kick there, but very well played to find Iheanacho, and it's an offside for Manchester City that'll give us a little bit of a chance to regroup. They're just showing the replay here now. Plays it just so quickly. It was a low through ball. Finds Iheanacho, just caught everyone from Man City flat-footed, except for Ederson, who does well to get out, make himself big. It's the end of the day for Yuri Tielemans, who comes off. Hamza Chowdhury coming on. And Phil Foden coming on for Manchester City. De Bruyne comes off. And no, I don't wear Canada Goose jackets. CK death taxes and Leicester conceding from a set piece. How cold is it in Canada? So I'm from southern Canada, which doesn't get like the reputation cold. So I'm from the largest city in Canada, which is Toronto. It gets below 0 out here. So like I think over Christmas we got down into like -4, -6. And when you get into like the most frigid parts of winter, you'll get like anywhere from -10 to like -30. Montreal gets it even worse than us because they're out on the river. They'll get -30, -40. And then anytime you get up north, you get into like Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, Nunavut, freezing. I am still in Canada right now. Yeah, I'm from the 6. There you go. Yuri was having a little bit of a shaky game, so I can see why he was brought off for Chowdhury. Sterling now with the ball on the left wing. Play's been rather calm since that free kick. Not giving Fernandinho any moment of peace. Dewsbury Hall with a high press, but they maintain possession. You could make that claim, but I don't think you can. I don't think VAR can overrule once it's a net new play. Ball currently being held by Laporte. Back and forth with Fernandinho. I think they're just trying to waste time at this point. Foden knocked off the ball. Madison now with the ball. I love Yuri, but Madison has been our star man today. Castagna on the wing. He plays it to Albrighton. Albrighton gets knocked down, free kick. Yeah, that's the whole thing with Leicester right now, is that like we're so decimated in defense that we've got to keep scoring goals to offset how many we concede. I love the things people are bringing up about Canada here. I had a Canadian teacher in primary school, and she loves honey and Taylor Swift. Canadians like those sorts of things. I don't think you can paint broad strokes, but and there's a lot of people that are soccer fans out here in Canada. You won't find many Leicester City supporters, but a lot of people enjoy the Premier League. Just for an update, it's 3-0 still to Arsenal against Norwich. The commentators have just mentioned Leicester City have conceded more goals so far this season than we had in the entirety of last season. Sterling on the wing now for Manchester City coming forward. Forced to cut inside, play the ball back to the defenders. Laporte plays the ball to Diaz. I think that's Silva up against Thomas. He plays the ball back to Mahrez. Mahrez forced to play the ball back again. Back to Bernardo. Cross comes in, headed away. Only as far as Fernandinho. He gets tripped, and that's a free kick in a dangerous position. Oh, Madison's going to get... You can't do that, Madison. He kicks the ball away after the free kick is given. You can't give that. You can't do that. Where do I stand on Shania Twain? I'm neither here nor there on her. When you get into the big cities, you'll find some energy amongst the Canadians. Yeah, Madison been showing some great spirit this match. This game would not be as close as it was if it weren't for the absolute engine Madison has been running. What's my day job? I work in advertising. We say soccer here, but I do my best to use British terminology because I know that pretty much our whole audience is British. It's a British channel. But yeah, like if I'm amongst North Americans, I just say soccer. I would live for if we could get Alphonso Davies from Bayern to Leicester. I don't think it'll happen. I think we would have a better chance of bringing David from Lille. Free kick is taken right into the wall. Mahrez takes the rebound. And to borrow a phrase from Hal at the Sheffield United way, if he thinks he's scoring from there, he's reading comics. Soccer is really sorry, you caught me there. Football is the sport that I follow the most because you also asked me about Canadian football there. I also follow a little bit of baseball, but no, it's mostly football for me. And I'm the only one in the family that watches football. I have a lot of coworkers that watch a lot of football. They support Liverpool and Manchester United for the most part. And one of my closest friends is a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I have been to England. I went for a week, but I only made it to London. I absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to go back. So we're in the Eastern time zone, which is the same one that like New York City is in. It's 11:35 in the morning at the moment for us here. Canada are very good at curling. Pretty much most Winter Olympic sports are where Canada shines: ice hockey, curling, speed skating, figure skating. Bukayo Saka from Arsenal. I think that's another optimistic. Optimistic. Yeah, take away their two dodgy pens, and it's 3-3. Leicester City have a free kick in the defensive third, and we're going to be giving Kasper Schmeichel the ball. I would love it. I would absolutely love to make it to Leicester. Hamza Chowdhury wins a tussle in the midfield, but Iheanacho just can't control it. And Man City try to hoof it back up for a counterattack, but Phil Foden isn't going to win that against Dan Amarte. Never going to. Now Leicester just passing the ball around. Ha! And Hamza Chowdhury just absolutely levels a stampeding Ilkay Gundogan, gives him nothing. Ball coming forward right now for Leicester City. Good through ball. Finds Luke Thomas. He plays it across goal. And Mark Albrighton, of all people, nearly scores from a header. Oh, I would have loved it. I love Mark Albrighton. He's one of my favorite players. I would have loved to see him score there. But he just can't get his head to it in the right way. He has to dive to get to it. And that's not the kind of play Mark Albrighton shines in. Positive play from Leicester City, though. 12 minutes to go, and we need 2 goals. Zinchenko now has the ball. He's under pressure by Madison, plays it towards Fernandinho. Dewsbury Hall gives Fernandinho a little shake-up, but Man City maintained possession. Mr. Whippy. Zinchenko on the ball now. He plays it to Gundogan. Gundogan forced to play the ball back, and he goes all the way back to Laporte. Laporte to Zinchenko, onto the wing to Sterling. Albrighton gets in there, just forces him to come inside, and he's back towards the center circle. He plays it back towards Diaz. Fernandinho shoved down by Chowdhury. Advantage played. Cancelo plays the ball onto the wing towards Silva. Silva comes forward under pressure by Lookman, lays it off to Mahrez. Mahrez finds Fernandinho in the center. He plays it to Zinchenko. To the other wing to Sterling. Sterling gets done by Albrighton. Door closed. Madison holds possession, plays it back towards Chowdhury. Chowdhury to Amarte. Amarte under a lot of pressure, draws foul, free kick, Leicester City. CK. Oh, dear. Can you bring some maple syrup when you get to the UK? I'd be happy to bring you some, but I'd have to definitely at least check it in my baggage because can't confirm because I've tried to bring some back from Quebec in the past. Counts as a liquid. You can't put it in your carry-on. It's because we pack it in glass, is why it's so expensive to export. It's hard for me to say exactly when because like I started liking Leicester City at a base level back in about 2008, but I started being like an avid follower in about the mid 2010s. Yeah, it's been a much better second half. I mean, like I've got some blood back in my face, some color back. After what had been a very terrible first half. But let's just say, like, this has been a game of 2 halves because the first half was 4-0 Man City. Second half, 3-1 Leicester City. Gundogan finds his man. Through ball played back towards Gundogan. He's offside. 9 minutes to go. It wouldn't surprise me if we're still being cautious on Vardy because he was having hamstring problems at the end of the Liverpool match. I don't know that we really need Aubameyang because he's a class player in all fairness. Like, he's a talent, but we're kind of spoiled for strikers. We need defense. Coming forward now again, Lookman, but he's forced to face backwards. Play it back to Thomas. Thomas finds Vestergaard. Vestergaard to Madison. Under pressure by Fernandinho. Maintains possession but loses out to Gundogan. Man City now looking to break. Gundogan can't beat Chowdhury, but the bouncing ball lands to Sterling. Sterling back to Gundogan. Gundogan plays it out on the wing to Mahrez. Mahrez with the cross. Headed away by Albrighton. Corner kick. Yeah, exactly. It's you have to check it in your baggage, otherwise they will take it away from you. Corner kick, Man City. Foden to take. Plays it in. Doesn't beat Amarte. He plays it towards Lookman, and now Leicester look to break. Lookman finds Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall pumps the gas, but just gets dispossessed. And Dewsbury Hall takes down his man, and it's a free kick. I feel like that's kind of what we liked to see in Johnny Evans, but even then, like we had struggled in defense with Evans as well. There are many teams that I'd say that I hate. Hate's a very strong word, and like even our rivals, like Forest, Derby, Coventry, I'd still kind of like to see them do well in the championship because I want an East Midlands derby back. Like that, I feel like we haven't had an East Midlands derby since 2013, 2012, I think. So there aren't really many teams that I hate. And exactly, our attack is fine. We score goals. We scored 3 against Manchester City. But we need to stop shipping goals. Tarkovsky wouldn't be a bad shout, but you know that we're going to have to pay through the nose for him. He's English. He's a good defender. He plays for Burnley. And they know that we need defenders. A Yap Stam character. That's taken me back. Oh my gosh. Was he? I don't even remember if he was in the lineup for the 06 World Cup. He may have even retired by then. Thank you, Dan. 2016-17 FA Cup round of 32 would have been against Derby, potentially. I'll need to double check that. Cancelo with the ball coming in, looking for Gundogan, but good job defensively. We keep the ball out for so far. It's out of the penalty area, but only as far as Zinchenko. He lays it off to Fernandinho. We get a chance to regain our shape. Sterling now on the wing. He finds Zinchenko. Zinchenko happy to just hold the ball, waste some time. Plays it back towards Sterling. Back to Zinchenko. Silva plays the ball out towards Cancelo. He plays a cross in. Only finds Castagna, but that falls to Sterling in the area. Dispossessed. Regains possession. There's a big tussle, and Amarte's in the way. I can't see what's going on. Corner kick. We really need Fofana back. Honestly, I feel like Fernandinho kind of ended our season before it even started. Dewsbury Hall doing an excellent job of shielding that. Great work by Dewsbury Hall there defensively. I think at the very least we'd be challenging for Europe with no injuries. Iheanacho giving his man a hug. Corner comes in. And goal, Manchester City. Raheem Sterling makes it 6. It's been an issue for Leicester all season, corner kicks, and this one no exception. But one thing that I will at least give Leicester as a a little bit of a silver lining for it is that we were actually man marking on that. Ooh, there could be an appeal for a handball here that could have gone off. No, not getting reviewed. Manchester City 6, Leicester City 3. Some calm play around the middle right now. We've only just kicked back off. Looks like Manchester City were in no rush to kick off again. Been a heck of a game. Yeah, exactly. Like our strikers, our attacking, our midfield have been class all through this crisis. Like there's few teams will keep a clean sheet against, and there's few teams that'll keep a clean sheet against us. Say what you will, you get an exciting game out of Leicester every time. Thank you very much, Dan. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we a lot of the production team for Leicester Fan TV are season ticket holders, so you'll see them at a lot of the matches, and oftentimes you'll get either myself or Michael or both of us hosting the watch-alongs. Ball now with Manchester City. Zinchenko plays it out towards Sterling on the wing. Sterling to Zinchenko. Foden plays the ball back to Fernandinho. And yeah, very happy holidays to all of you who are watching. It's been a rough game, but if you have enjoyed the watch along, please drop a like. Please share the video. Please subscribe if you aren't. If you're a Leicester City fan, or even if you're a fan of another team that just wants to see some things from a Leicester City perspective, as Manchester City play a cross in, but it goes right into the hands of Kasper Schmeichel. Feel free to give us a subscribe. We got live shows every day of the week. The stadium announcers have just said that Raheem Sterling is going to be the man of the match for this game from the Manchester City perspective. I think James Maddison definitely deserves the plaudits from a Leicester perspective, with an honorable mention, I think, going to Kelechi Iheanacho as well, who was pivotal in a couple of those goals. 3 minutes to go now. James Maddison with the ball now. He plays the ball to Amarte, Amarte to Castagna. Castagna back to Amarte. Oh! Cynical challenge by Fernandinho that honestly I think a yellow card is kind of soft for there on James Maddison. You can't do that. Three minutes out of time. We got 2 minutes to go. Ball now being held by the Manchester City center backs. Iheanacho up there pressing. Yeah, exactly what Ant is saying here. If we had a half decent defense this season, we'd be challenging, but it's just we've been missing so many players. Thank you very much as well, Ant, by the way. You know, we like to say that this is a channel by the fans for the fans. We'd always love to have you on camera as well. This watch along would be nothing without the chat running. So thank you all so much for taking part as well. Manchester City now just looking to play out the last of the time, maybe take one more attack. but they're just passing it around amongst the back. But Lookman will collect off of a poor Manchester City back pass. Iheanacho now with the ball, might look to start a lofted counter here. Castagna, high lofted ball, but he plays it too far wide. Zinchenko will collect that ahead of Albrighton and play it back towards the center of defense. Yeah, Madison's been very fired up. Very fired up. We're into the last minute of the match now. Let me give you also a quick update because I'm seeing Xander posting an update there. 5-0 Norwich beaten by Arsenal there. 3-0 Tottenham Palace. And 2-3 Southampton beating West Ham at the moment. Free kick Manchester City, and surely this will be the last play of the game. Foul on Riyad Mahrez there. Thank you very much, Liam, and thank you for joining us as well for the watch-along. Greatly appreciated. I think one place where Leicester City also deserve credit is the quality of our counterattacks here. They just showed the stats there, and I'm going to pull it up as again just to double-check. 28% possession and 3 goals from there. And that is the full-time whistle. Manchester City 6, Leicester City 3. A Boxing Day sale on goals there by the two teams. So thank you all for joining us. Definitely appreciate it. I'm just double checking something quickly, and I will put the link up for us. So with the end of that match, please get your thoughts in. But yeah, it was a heck of a game. And honestly, for a lot of us that were going in there expecting a battering, I think while it was a rough game, I think we could say that it was respectable. I'm going to pop the link into the chat as well. So if any of you would like to join us for some post-match thoughts, please feel free to give us your thoughts. Link is in the chat. We did win the second half. We won the second half 3-2, lost the first half 4-0 for a final score, as you can see there, 6-3. Exactly. How many teams score 3 at the Etihad? It goes to show the fact that there is a diamond in the rough in this Leicester City team. If we can get back to our full strength in defense, put more, stop more of the shots that are coming in, better protect against corners. We played man marking on corners this time. And that's incredibly positive because it shows that we're actually adapting our tactics a little bit. It was a battering for sure in the first half, but I would say you play the team that's in front of you. So the fact of the matter is that if we win the second half, we won the second half. Whether that's because Manchester City switched off or not, doesn't really matter that much to me. We still put in a performance and showed that we could have just switched off and tried to not concede more goals for the second half, but we still went in there and attacked. CF31, we scored a quarter of all of the goals that they've conceded all season today in one day. But that said, let's not go away and say that this was our match of the season and a great result. We still lost, and we lost by 3 goals. But it could have been worse, and I'm just trying to pull out some nice takeaways for us for this season. Xander suggesting Eder Militao as a siding for us in defense. When we can get Fofana back, I think we're going to be in a great place. When we get Fofana back, when we can get Justin back, like I said, there's a diamond in the rough in this team. Without Vardy or Daka as well, again, goes to show how good our attack is for this side. But we're just not quite there yet in terms of defending. Say what you will, and yeah, in all fairness, like Mike is saying, the outcome is still 0 points. But that said, a lot of us were going into this expecting, I would say, a worse result than 6-3. I think a lot of us were expecting even things like 4-6-0. Here you go on the XG, 3.38 to 2.44. Manchester City were very clinical with the chances that they were taking. And yeah, our defense has been terrible. And I'm not going to try to paper over any cracks and say that our defense hasn't been terrible. But we we all witnessed the same match here. I don't think I really need to tell us that we didn't play that well. But I'm trying to find like some of the diamonds in the rough, some of the takeaways that we can take forward to our matches against Liverpool and others. Jono, I'm seeing you on screen. If you can give me a thumbs up. Not a great game, but definitely a better second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we put a little bit more respectability into it based on the first half performance. Still, you know, I'd love to know what he said at half time, because completely switched around, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I understand what people are saying. It's still 0 points on the board, but you know, were we expecting anything more than more than a defeat today? Probably not. So the fact that we scored 3 goals is a positive, I guess. And we won the second half, which I guess when you ship 4-0 at half time, I guess probably that's what he said, you know, let's go out and try and win the second half, because that's all you can do really at that point. The game's gone at that time. But yeah, no, we had a small glimmer, didn't we, where we thought, could this get interesting? You know, at 4-3, that was, you know, we had 5 minutes or so where we thought, you know, if we get the next one, it could make things very interesting. But, you know, that ultimately they're too good. You know, let's be honest, they're a much better team than us at the moment. And it just goes to show, if we can get our defence sorted out, which has been way overdue, hopefully things can get sorted in the second half of the season in that regard, and we can start moving up the table, because it just goes to show we have, regardless of the fact that we've got Vardy out, Daka out, we can still score 3 goals against a very, very good team. So that's a positive, I would say. And let's stop all this Brendan out nonsense. That's all I would say. You know, I'm sick and tired of trying to argue against people saying Brendan out, because Brendan out is not the answer. It's not a silver bullet that's going to solve everything for us. We've clearly got a lot of problems. As I was saying at half time, Brendan has made some mistakes. Let's not be naive about it. There are things that he needs to improve, and in his power to improve. But yeah, I mean, injuries and COVID has just decimated our chances of getting our defence sorted out. Not to mention some quite poor signings in Vestergaard and Bertrand. I think we can all agree that they haven't improved things at all. But let's move on from today. I don't think we were really expecting anything more than a defeat. Let's be honest, at the beginning, we were hoping that maybe we could get a point or something. But we scored 3 goals, which is a positive. We put a bit more respectability on the score, even though they've shipped 6. But we won the second half. Let's move on, and hopefully we can get something in the Liverpool game.
Yeah, I was going to bring up David's comment here that I feel kind of echoes the way that you and I are both feeling about this game. If we lost this game 4-0, even 3-0 by the same margin and got nothing out of it, 0 positives to take back. But the fact that it's still 0 points at the end of the day, and that's disappointing. The fact that we have some positives to take from this, from a team like Manchester City, in the state that Leicester City are currently in, I think is why we're more optimistic coming out of this than we would normally be. If this was a full strength Leicester and we lost like that, I think it would be a very different story.
Yeah, agreed. I think the hardest thing to do in football, they always say, is to score goals. And we're proving that we can score goals. In every game we've played, I think we've scored goals. Against good teams and poor teams, we've scored goals. So if we could only get the defence sorted out, which seems to be seemingly harder to sort out than scoring goals, we've got a really good chance, I think, of pushing on. But I don't think the team have stopped playing for Brendan. I think, you know, Brendan's clearly got a job to do, and has definitely got some things to work on in terms of the defensive. We shipped another goal at a corner today, you know, which is disappointing. But these things are going to happen, I guess. But we haven't seen, I think my biggest gripe, as I said before, is that we haven't seen a dramatic change in how we're defending. And I just, I was hoping today that we would see at least a little bit more solidity and a little bit more calmness, I guess, and a little bit more toughness at the back, which against a very good team we didn't show. So I don't know, maybe when Evans is back, maybe when Fofana's back and we get fit Ricardo Pereira and Justin's back, we might see a whole different ball game. But that's a big if, isn't it? And quite a long way away.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there with the sort of like injuries and the fact that we're missing people, because we're dwelling on positives at the moment, but there's obviously lessons and takeaways from this match from a negative perspective too. One of which is we can't defend at all. But I think a fair part of that is that we're playing players that a European challenging Premier League team would not be playing in defense. We wouldn't be. Nobody's going to play Mark Albrighton as a right back and make Europe. We play Mark Albrighton as a right back because we have to.
Yeah.
Yannick Vestergaard played for Southampton, a team that did not challenge for Europe. But when we can get those players back, then we can start dwelling on things like our defensive tactics, because that will be a gauge as to if we can qualify for Europe with a European qualifying team.
Yeah, I mean, I think that nail on the head, really. When we signed Vestergaard, it was clearly a panic buy, where really we should have been investing that sort of money into trying to find a young, hungry centre-back, a bit like Fofana, who could come in and challenge again. Maybe not immediately, but we saw the Fofana injury happen. It was, I guess, in hindsight, that was a big switch in our season when that injury happened. I mean, it was devastating. And you could see, from then on, I think, we were looking good when Fofana was playing in pre-season, weren't we? I mean, we were taking it to likes of Villarreal and whatnot, and doing really well. So that could well be a pivotal moment in our season, that injury, because he could have gone on and had a really strong season.
Completely agreed. I want to bring up one more point, and then I got to let you go because I've got Ross as well who's waiting, and I don't want to keep him waiting for too long. Defensively, one big takeaway that I want to take from this is that I saw we were man marking on defense. I didn't see zonal marking, which I take as a big takeaway. Do you think that could be something we're actually moving forward with, or do you think that was just for this game because we were scared of their players?
No idea. Clearly, Rodgers has said already that he's wanting to look at different ways and different options of approaching the set piece issues. Maybe that's something that is starting to happen. I don't know. I mean, regardless of the fact that we shipped a goal at a corner today, there's clearly something that they need to be working on, and he knows it. So maybe that is something they're trying out. I don't know. I mean, it's beyond my remit as a football fan to know whether zonal or man marking is better or worse in what situation or the other. I'm not paid like Brendan is to know these things, but fingers crossed that they can continue to work on it, and when we do get players back, that we can start marching up the table, because I think that we have got enough quality in the team to do that, and we've shown today that we can still get 3 goals against a very good team. If we can tighten up, then we'll start picking up more wins than losses rather, going forward, is my view. I want to say hi to Ross. Happy Christmas to Ross if he's there.
I'll add Ross on before I drop you off as well. Ross, are you good to come on?
Hey up.
Ross.
How's it going?
All right. We would it be a watch along without Ross's 5 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes. Well, I'll tell you what, since we conceded 6, I'll have 6 minutes. No. Well, before I get started, before I get me right out of the way, happy Christmas to all of you. Also owing everybody else's happy holidays, people, whatever, I'm walking. I've not gone to the game. I'm just walking to go to my son's house. That's all, dropping some off. But oh dear, where do we begin? First goal was a good goal. You can't really take it. Good fall from De Bruyne. Stupid motorbike. Shut up. Then the second goal, it's stupid. He shouldn't have. I mean, he was like, someone put it there. Merry Christmas, Mike. Cheers, pal. It's like wrestling. Yeah, someone put it in the comments. Wrestle marking more like, I know a bit too about wrestling. That was it. It was like a spear. But you know, and then the third goal. Oh dear me, terrible calamity from Schmeichel. I think it was a Marty. I think it was a Marty. And Gundogan said thank you very much and put it in the back of the net. Tielemans for the fourth goal, my opinion. You know Sterling was going to go down, but Tielemans should not have stuck his leg out. It was a stupid decision, stupid thing to do, because Marty was going to be there anyway. Whether Sterling would have shot or not, I don't know. But Tielemans should not have stuck his leg out. And then for some reason, second half, it's like Brendan Rodgers has gone in and I don't know what he's done to him. I think he must have steroided him or something, because 3 goals out of nothing. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell's going on? But you can see why Manchester City are the Premier League champions. You know, you can see the quality is just amazing. You know, my opinion, their best 2 players, my honest opinion, are João Cancelo and what's his name, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva has been absolutely class for them since David Silva's gone. So you can see why they're top of the Premier League, and you know it's one of them things, and you know it's just disappointing. And the injuries, oh dear me, you know, do you know what, the injury things worry me, because it's not just on the pitch, it's off the pitch as well. You know, I was talking to my dad about Vestergaard. Put it this way, like I said, if Fofana did get injured, then Vestergaard will still probably be playing for Southampton today. That's what it is. It's one of them things, and never sacked that physio. Is it Dave Rennie? Is it called Jono? I forgot his name now.
That was him. Yeah.
The club doctor that got.
Sorry,
sacked,
I just thought I'd get my rant out of the way first. But and who we got next? We got the almighty Liverpool. Oh, well, dear me.
What do you reckon? I reckon that.
So that again, sorry.
What do you reckon the Liverpool game? I mean, I don't know whether it'll be the same as last year where they smashed us at home. I'm hoping that we'll get something, maybe a point, maybe a.
Listen,
the
only reason I'm doing that is I'm on my iPhone and it's very low for sound. So if you're wondering why I'm doing that, it's because I can hear you. Liverpool game, we should have had that wrapped in the bag. 3-1 up at Anfield, of all places, and then you go and bring on bloody Vestergaard and Bertrand, and then also they put all the pressure on, and that happened. It was. Only us could be 3-1 up at Anfield and still not win. Still score 3 goals and not win. But it's one of them things, that's over and done with. I mean, it's a home game. You know, I've heard this thing about, I don't know if you've talked about it, I don't know, about this singing section trial thing at Watford that's happening. I don't know if you spoke about that yet. You know, to be honest, our atmosphere has been going downhill for ages, let's be honest. This ain't a dig at fans. This is just a dig in general. The atmosphere, it's not as great as it used to be. You know, Jono's been to Filbert Street. I've been to Filbert Street. Don't get me wrong, some atmospheres have been great at the King Power. Some matches like, you know, Atletico Madrid and Sevilla. Places, stuff like that, yeah, that's been brilliant. But, like, you know, we play better when there's no fans, let's be honest. That's my honest opinion. So, yeah, that's my 6 minutes of fame gone. Man at match, I think Maddison. I think the 2 goals that happened, which I don't get run over here, the 2 goals that happened, kept on his feet, fair play to him. Anyone else would have gone down. Brilliant plays to Nacho, to Lookman, goal. And also he scored his goal as well, Maddison. So, yeah, I think I'm going to get Maddison man of the match. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but yeah.
I think that was really
time's up, Ross. Yes, it is, Michael. Time's up.
No, well, we're probably going to wrap up in the next few minutes. So before I let you both go, I'd like to get both of your mans of the matches. So I know, Ross, you gave me Maddison. And then our next game, I believe, is Tuesday against Liverpool. Would love to get a score prediction.
Yeah, it's Liverpool on Amazon Prime. For anyone that's not got Amazon Prime, it's on there. Or just go around to your mate's house. Or in Canada. I don't know if you have Amazon Prime in Canada.
Mine will be with the broadcaster that I watched. It's the Zone in Canada. We get all the games.
Oh, Sportsnet. Is it Sportsnet?
No, it's the Zone.
Pardon?
The Zone.
Oh, right. I know Sportsnet used to do it a lot. That's where I used to watch all my games on when I used to go to Canada every week for the games.
Yeah.
Like,
it used to be Sportsnet, but that's why I couldn't watch Leicester when I was first a Leicester fan, because they only carried the Big Six.
I'm not going to say anything about any Big Six palaver yet. Sorry, Tottenham are not included, so that means Big Five.
We're getting off
It's always
topic.
the Big Four.
Liverpool prediction.
Right, I'm going to quote my best friend here. He always says to me I always said to him, which he always says to me, "Oh, if you can knock me out, give me a realistic answer and your honest answer." So I'm going to go with a realistic answer. I think a point. I think for some reason we'll scrape a point, but in reality, I think Liverpool, the way we played, I mean, if we can play like the second half, take out the Laporte goal and the Sterling goal, maybe we can get a result. Just maybe. Draw. I'm not saying this draw prediction yet because we don't know what team's going to happen. You know, it doesn't matter what team that Liverpool put out. They could put out, you know, Mark Lawrenson and Kenny Dalglish of all people. You know, it doesn't matter. They're still Liverpool SC. So we've got to take it seriously. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Andy Meadows has just put. Have you seen Andy Meadows' comment?
Andy Meadows. 6 minutes is longer? Oh, dear. I'm not putting that on screen. All right, thanks for joining us, Ross.
Anyway,
I'm going to let you go.
off, lads, because I can only just hear you. So, peace out. If I don't speak to you before 2021, have a good Happy New Year and that. So, nice hat, by the way.
Thank you.
No, it's a nice jumper, right. Jono.
Cheers,
He's having
Ross.
a disco here, Jono.
Happy Christmas, Happy New Year. We don't see you.
Pardon?
Happy Christmas, Happy New Year if we don't see you.
Yeah, cheers, Jono. See you later, lads. See you later,
bye, Ross. All right, Jono. So I guess just to close out as well, if we can get your Leicester man of the match and score prediction for Liverpool as well.
Yeah, I go the same as Ross. I think Maddison clearly was, the game changer in the second half. And he hit the bar in the first half. Seemed to make things happen. So I'll go with Maddison, the same as Ross. He seems to be on a rich vein of form, and hopefully that may continue into the Liverpool game. And I think that, strangely enough, I think that we might actually get something in the Liverpool game. We're at home. I'm hoping the crowd turn up, make some noise, and I think that we might get a 3-2. We might ship a couple of goals, but a 3-2 would be a really, a nice result. I think get a victory at home and then move on, because I think that these two games over Christmas really tricky. Man City and Liverpool, they always seem to play them at the same time every year during the Christmas break, and there is, I think, we'll look at a bunch of fixtures where we potentially have a nice run and try to build some results. Fingers crossed. Anyway, but I think that I fancy us for.
I'd love to see it
based on what happened the other day. I think that.
I'd love to see it. Jono, I think I'm actually losing connection with you, unfortunately.
So 3-2 for me.
Yeah. Jono, unfortunately, I think I've lost you. But thanks for joining us, Jono. And to all of you, hope you all have I hope you all had a lovely holiday. I hope you all have a good new year. Tuesday, we'll be back with a watch along for Liverpool. And like I said, we've got live shows all days of the week. And as always, we love to get your thoughts and your comments in. Big thanks to all of our partners. You can see down here on the bottom of the screen. And as always, if you haven't, please like, share, subscribe. You can join us on any one of these social media channels. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.